You're on there. I'll let you do it.
They're in the second June, they were.
You can write it on mine. That's what it does right now. Are we online?
Yes, we are recording. Unfortunately, I think I had to stop the meeting and start the meeting over again, so hopefully anybody in there didn't get kicked out.
I didn't see this.
Okay,
But if they did, they did. They get back in.
7:06. Ready? That's what's wrong. Please ensure your cell phones are muted or off. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognition and reasons. 76.
Greg Bradley,
Yeah.
Albert Keys. Here. Tom Backers,
Here.
Joanne Childs. Yes. Christine Johnson here. Thank you.
Okay, disclosure of conflicts with anything on the agenda. I have none. I have none.
I have none.
Okay, approval of the agenda. I would like to add. We got a bid on taking down a couple of dead maple trees at the cemetery. From ours, under new business 12C. Cemetery tree service. Because the one we got was for one tree and there's two of them. So. I'm gonna have lots of money to take care of that before it falls on the neighbor's trailer. Okay, anybody else? Okay, hearing nothing further, move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Public comment?
I have a question. We stand up, so here, during everything that went on in July and August of last year, we had reports that a resident of the township had evidence of our stolen equipment, pictures, receipts, the whole shop knew where it was. And I'm wondering, have we recovered any of that? Are we ever gonna recover any of it? And has that been made a report to one of our, whether the sheriff department or the state police? Because if somebody has it,
Were their names named?
pardon,
Was there a name?
Jeff West said that he had evidence of that. I know that he did. He was the one, but I'm saying, if
Okay.
he either had the evidence and we need it back.
You were aware?
Yeah, I can answer this question. Yes, information was passed on to the sheriff. The investigation is still ongoing per the sheriff. And I was advised when I talked to our township legal to let the sheriff department do their investigation. So that's where it is.
You know, and I'm not asking that, and I'm just saying that as, you know, the employees were all put into that. But this, as a separate issue, was a Justin Township resident, and if they have our stolen property, we should get it back. And if they don't have it, well, then maybe it never existed for them. I don't know, I'm saying, I'm still curious about
So
it.
basically,
Because
you're,
I was put through the ringer over all that.
you're in the
And
same thing.
so if I was put through the
That
ringer.
person did go
it
to the
shouldn't
sheriff's
be-
department. That person did go to the sheriff's department and speak with them about that issue.
Okay, and so if we
That's
are,
all in the sheriff's.
okay, that's what I needed to.
So
know.
we're waiting on the sheriff.
Something was being done in an effort to recover our stuff. Okay,
We're waiting on the law enforcement authorities to finish their investigation.
okay, I just wondered if something was being done to recover.
Okay, I was almost expecting Sheriff Whiteford to show up today. Any other public comment? Okay, guest reports on orders of business, special orders of business. I did contact the insurance company lawyer concerning the settlement, West versus Clearwater, trying to confirm that the insurance company, what amount they were gonna pay. And I haven't heard back from him. I sent him an email and 2 phone calls, so that's where that stands.
I believe he already received a settlement.
We
Okay.
received already from the.
Okay, so he got it. I was just wondering the amount.
I don't know what the amount
That's,
is.
But
that's,
they said they were going to.
okay, so he got his check for 30 grand. So now, what we have to do basically is come up with a format for the residual.
This meeting is totally out of it.
No, I'm on number 7, but I haven't got the minutes yet.
Okay.
Okay, the other phone call I made was, to Paul Olson, I heard from him. Was checking on making sure that the new truck was on the insurance policy, and also gave him the contract for the new tractor to put that on the inventory list, so that's covered. Other than that, working on the draft for the STR has been occupying most of my time. Minutes, January 18th.
I did not correct the wording, regarding the sheriff's
Rough.
contract, the rough draft.
Okay, misspelling.
Yeah, where was that?
Sheriff.
Department. Yeah, under the motion by Keys to request a contract for 40 hours
Rough draft.
per month. We don't want to bark at it, so we want to change the spelling of that.
Actually, just strike that.
Oh, okay. Strike rough altogether.
We just strike the word.
Okay.
Okay, the rest of this was pretty much. And for the February 3rd meeting. First of all, anybody have any additional changes to January 18th? I don't see any.
Is that the correct date? February 3rd, I got February 6th.
It's well
Yeah, I
on the
know.
agenda.
It's
It
for,
is the 3rd.
The 3rd, I believe.
And mine's corrected here, so.
So motion to approve the
Minutes,
amended minutes of January 18th.
I'll second that, or I'll make a motion that we accept that.
I make the motion, you second.
Sounds good.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, February 3rd, pretty much cut and dried, that's about all we can say to it.
Yeah.
Till we, publish the final draft copy of this, I've been getting phone calls. Wondering why we haven't put the draft on. I had, first of all, it's not complete. Secondly, we're just getting into the meat of the subject. And I'm sure there'll be some contention among some of the owners over that. So once we've gone through it line by line, and we're satisfied with it, and we send it to legal for a final legal opinion, I will publish that. We'll post it on the website and make it available to the public. We will also have to schedule another public hearing in order to pass that, to make it effective. So, and I already have, one amendment I forwarded to the planning commission on the noise ordinance that we had a problem with last
Can we,
summer.
point of order, get back to the
Okay,
approving of the minutes? I'll make the motion to approve the February 3rd
I'll
minutes.
second.
okay. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anyway, that's what I said, so down to
Legal reports, it looks like.
legal reports, we do have a draft letter, I put that down under. Put it, institution, under unfinished business, we can deal with it now or wait. Has anybody had a chance to read it? That is Smith and Johnson.
I would, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move, our maintenance report, unless you plan on staying the whole meeting. If you don't plan on staying the whole meeting, maybe we can move you forward.
If that would be all right, I would, or I'll stay.
Yeah, we could have done that when we approved the agenda, but that's, I'm okay with that.
Okay. So, first of all, so before we get into the draft letter for, the former clerk, you wanna do that?
Yeah, I want to take
Set a
care of
motion.
maintenance, because he walked here.
Okay,
You might
Motion.
follow tonight.
so, I guess we should vote all in favor. Do you have a motion
I
to
have a motion.
move the maintenance report?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Craig, you're up.
We have been busy. Maintenance has almost completed trimming and hauling all the brush and branches from all the accesses and the Birch Street picnic pavilion. Also, because of our spring light weather in, mid to late January, I did the leaf cleanup there. So that is actually ready to go at picnic season. Puts us weeks ahead of the normal spring start. The leaf cleanup for all the accesses will begin once we go back to springtime. The cleanup at the chapel, who I think you witnessed there, or checked it or whatever. All that has been pushed out, cleaned up, the piles of sand, the rocks placed along the property line. And, it looks presentable to people coming
Yes,
to visit their family. The new John Deere is absolutely wonderful. Appreciate you guys doing that. It has made, because it's a little smaller, it's made getting in and around some of the, we have posts and signs fairly close together, and it's made that a little easier. And that back blade, or the box it's great, for the sidewalks and for the drive at the end of sidewalk, part of all works, it's great. I do believe we should still hold on to the old John Deere, because, a bucket, the last time when I bought my tractor, the bucket as an attachment was over $3,500. We would never get that back out of it, and it's worth every penny of that for what we can do with it. So as long as it's not causing us much problem, we just had it serviced, a couple months ago, and, it's running well. I just as the maintenance, I think we should hang on to that. And it also has the ability to have a snow blower put back on. The leaf plow, who, several of you have seen the video of me loading the trailer, and I think, Christine said she had watched me do it out here. I can load a trailer in an hour or so by hand, or 15 or 20 minutes with the plow. It's phenomenal as far as the amount of work and effort that it cuts out in moving the leaves once we've grown them up.
So I have a question. Accessories for the new John Deere. So you don't need a mower deck, because we have two mowers.
We have two mowers.
Okay, you'd rather have a leaf plow rather than, a mower and a vacuum system.
Well, I think that, the vacuum system it's a good tool. But we get piles of leaves, you've seen the video also, the piles of leaves are this high. Once we grow them up, it'd be hard to run them over, and if I just drove around the cemetery picking them up, I think that would benefit us more at this point, and it would also.
So my thing is preference, one or the other or both.
The preference, obviously, a vacuum system and the leaf plow would be handy, but if we had to go with one or the other right now, based on the cost,
You'd rather
I
have
think
a
the
leaf?
leaf plow on the new mower
Okay.
would be a substantial savings in both effort and time.
Okay, my second question.
And then I just do what,
Second question.
okay,
You placed what rocks we had over, you said you heard from the son?
I heard from Dennis today,
Okay,
and they have Bob Nowicki is actually handling the sale of the rocks for the family, for Mike Henderson's estate. And once he is starting to separate them, and he's separating them out some for the township.
right,
And when we, again, just get some more spring-like weather, we will all meet out there. You're more than welcome to come out and look. But I will meet with this Mr. Nowicki and Dennis Henderson and say, yes, these will work, no, these won't. Let them know where we want them and find out.
how much?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Chair?
yes, sir.
My suggestion to the board would be, have Craig work with Greg and come up with a game plan on whether it be a plow, vacuum. And maybe we can come back in April
Yeah.
and with some options.
Well, you know, just throw this more honest, we're looking at a dump trailer also. And a dump trailer, you have to come with ramps. And so you won't have a drop down ramp to push up leads into the dump trailer.
No, we could lift the box and, put some, we have some 3/4 inch plywood that we,
Yeah, you'd have to come up with something.
yes,
other than ramp like
I thought about that already.
This will all require, adjustment to the budget.
Yes,
because we're
yes.
gonna-
Well, and again, I understand that that's a substantial, investment for the township on top of what we've already done more in John Deere. So if we don't have it this year, oh well, we can plan for it. I'm going through my mind trying to figure out how we can, unload the trailer, the flat trailer, a lot easier, a lot less effort. A tarp, something to pull.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
okay, well, I'm just trying to get a list of equipment that we might
Yeah,
need, so we know what it's gonna
and,
be.
again, springtime, when we're doing the dispatching and all that, the vacuum system would be great. And we can use the leaf plow for it, we can. In the fall, the leaf plow would benefit us more. So we're looking at two different, times of the year,
Right,
and say when we do our ball field, or we do whatever the other field is gonna end up, that used to be the soccer field. Whether we remake, it would help if we picked up the grass, vacuumed it up as we mowed it, then we would have less dethatching on those areas.
We do still have public improvement and capital improvement.
what's that?
We still have public improvement and capital improvement funds available.
Right. Yeah,
My suggestion would work with Mr. Bradley and come back in April
Mhm.
and, because we know we need the three things, basically. So that'll give you something to research.
we need a shopping list.
Yeah, well, as long as we all agree we're gonna keep the old tractor, that narrows down
Yeah.
the list a lot.
Yeah, okay, continue.
And like I said, I just mentioned the dump trailer because of, Dream farther up road. The new truck, these tires, it needed tires when we got it, not horribly, they're not bald. But, Greg looked at it yesterday or the day before and agreed that, yeah, we should do something. The, Chevrolet will need tires, say, by winter, for next winter.
So the Ford needs them now.
The Ram should have them now. Again, they're not bald, but they're getting down.
I believe that's a safety issue there.
Well, we can buy
Is, and you're
tires.
plowing
Like
which,
cheap.
with which one?
I'm plowing with the Chevy. Like I said,
That's the old truck.
that's the old truck.
It doesn't need it right now.
No, we can, they will go, we can finish the season, winter, and then finish the summer. But before we go into another winter, it would be advantageous for us to have, tires on it, new tires. which would split up the.
So take care of the little truck first.
Pardon?
Take care of the little truck first.
Yes. And I talked with, Schaefer's Auto, he does all the maintenance on my vehicle. And I just asked him, when I was in there with my truck the other day, if he would be willing to put a bid in for the tire. I know it's gonna run more than $1,000 or in that range, so it would have to be bid. And he, being local, if we could get him in, we should. But he is willing to put a bid in and then we'll have to work outwards. I don't know who else in town.
I don't think we need a bid for tires.
No, it's regular maintenance.
We might save $5 a tire going to Travelers. But I do know that Dave is a sponsor for Heritage Festival and the different things that go on.
If you get a quote from Schaefer, okay, we can just make a couple
Okay, I
phone
will
calls
get one.
and find out how legit it is. Yeah.
I will get him for the next meeting.
Moving on,
And the Chevrolet, is due for an oil change, at the end of April. I believe we should do an oil change, fluid change, filter change, if we work it hard. And it's got 32,000 miles on it, we should be able to get 232,000 miles if we take care of it.
also on that list, you might put a radiator flush and fill. Radiator,
What's that?
radiator flush.
I'm,
When you take it in for service.
yes, when I take it in for the oil change, if we get it all done at the same time, sorry, I'm half deaf and my hearing aids,
Right.
they're being adjusted, they were too small. They didn't fit in my ear.
Okay,
You know,
I think we're getting.
I can see you now. I can see you now, I just can't hear you.
Okay,
But yes, we should go through, have the transmission fluid change, I do stop after 45 minutes or an hour plowing and let the transmission cool down, but we work that truck hard. And, like I said,
Well, that's-
it'll last a very long time.
yeah, the other truck isn't outfitted for plowing anyway.
And then the plow also, it needed a new cutting edge probably last year. But at the end of this year, at some point when we have a day or two down, and I'm not sure where at this point to go with it. I know there's a plow, people that's all they do over in Traverse, off of Woodmere.
Art's
But
Auto
that would-
Electric,
Who's that?
Art's Auto Electric.
Yeah, and that's what I did with my plow too, when I had issues when I was down. But that's the only place I know that has a reputation for taking care of business. And there's filters inside, on either side of the pump. And they all should be changed in that plow too. Okay, I believe there's at least two, and there might be as many as four. Because I didn't have a pro model, I had two filters. I was looking it up, trying to find out, and some of the models actually have two inline filters and then one on either side of the pump, which catch the debris, and I'm almost certain that it's probably never ever been changed. I don't know how old it is. If it's the age of the truck, 4 or 5 years, it's time.
That truck's what, 2015? That's
2015.
8 years old.
Yeah, so it's been 9 years, and I'm certain, I've seen hydraulic fluid be added to it, but that's the only maintenance that I've seen or done to it myself.
Okay.
The light bulb,
The light bar. I did hear from Mike.
you didn't?
I did.
Oh, you did, okay.
Okay, what he's gonna do is pull that rig. Okay, and he will make the township an offer to buy it. And he's gonna send it, he was never sent the board an invoice. Okay, for the original, the back bar.
Yes,
The screen.
Back rack.
Okay, and the light installation. So once he does that, he's supposed to send us a quote with, the light bar returned or purchased by him and his offer. So we should have that by, next meeting.
Okay, that, and I just, because I had asked him to call you.
So that the minute you get, some time, go over there, he said it'd take a half hour, he'll yank that like.
Okay, because of, he had mounted it, he said he will come at no cost, but on his schedule, when he's not, on call, and he will remove it.
Yeah, he said it'd take 30 minutes.
Yeah, it won't take long at all. The Ram needs a amber light bar. It needs a hazard marker for when I'm on the side of the road. They're not that expensive. I think I threw up on here, they're anywhere from 150 to 350. We don't necessarily, or even have to be at the top end.
Is that a bar or just, magnetic? It's magnetic.
Yeah, I think you could get one for 100, 150, stick it to the top of the truck, run it through the window and be done.
Is,
But it would be a safety issue when I park near the road, on the road,
Yeah,
doing things.
okay.
is the one, there was one in the old truck when I was doing
It
that.
is, it's on there, but the new light bar sits on top of it,
Okay.
and then the back rack is behind it, so it's extremely hard to see from behind, and that's where you want to be seen from.
Mhm.
You know, I don't care if somebody sees me coming at me because they're way over here.
Yeah.
And there has been times that I pulled, well, when we did the Reese, I pulled it onto the side of a different road and then walked to where we were working, rather than sit it in the
Yeah,
road
yeah.
and not have anybody notice that it was just stopped.
I would recommend to the board that instead of getting that little magnetic light that he does get, or gets a quote for another, amber light bar.
Just get the
those
light bar.
across. You want something that stands out so you can be seen. Instead of getting.
A roof mount, yeah, basically permanent light bar.
It can be permanent, the one on the truck, I believe is magnetic, and it's been there for years. It stays. If we
But you
want,
want something right now.
well, yeah, that will be sufficient. The biggest problem I have is I use the Ram most often in the, summer. When we're using it to pull the mowers around, and in the winter, as we're doing the plowing, I use the Chevrolet more because of that, and I figure
Okay,
we have that much time before you make a decision. We can get a permanent mount on.
I would just get the magnetic,
I
flashlight.
think the $151 one with the mount that we just stick to the truck would give us the visibility that we need to have.
Okay, find one and call the clerk.
And
You're on
I'm
the red
hoping that
You know,
what we
for
get back
150
from the
bucks.
other light bar will offset
Mhm.
the cost of the new one for the new ambulance.
Okay,
Okay, we don't need one anymore. I talked with KSS this morning, they called me last night, or no, yeah, last week. And then I spoke with them this morning, and they were sending to the township a, breakdown of the refurbishing cost. And also it for a new.
I have it.
Oh, you got it? I didn't get it.
I didn't forward it because I just got it this afternoon late.
Yeah, I just talked to her this morning.
Okay, so let me take a minute here. To get an official quote for repair of your scrubber will be $110 for tearing it down and finding out what it needs. And let's see, from my experience, you would be looking at a repair cost minimum $2,000.
Okay.
So that's from them. They also sent me quotations on two similar machines. Walk behind floor scrubber. One for 4,400 and the other for 6,500. Now, Craig and I discussed this when we shipped it off, basically to have it evaluated. Okay, he's fine with rebuilding the old, but we don't know what that's gonna cost. So the board will have to make a decision on, yeah, I got two of these, so.
And just from the maintenance view, if we were a supermarket or we were a school, I would say go with the new one. because we use it 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. We're gonna use it at maximum 2 hours a week. And without being taken care of, it's lasted 20 years.
Yeah.
It will take care of it. I'm already familiar with the operation because I attempted to use it several times.
Okay, so here's the situation. They said it costs $110 to evaluate the old one. We should spend that money. Yeah, and save us $2,000 to $4,000, just, I mean, if they can rebuild that machine.
And that includes a new charger,
Yeah,
a charger. We don't have one. I've looked everywhere and I don't know why we don't have one.
okay, so if there are no objections, I will call them tomorrow and have them tear into it and find out what it would cost to bring it up to speed. And they included a battery charger with that.
Yes, a new battery and battery charger. Gel battery, they're fairly expensive also.
Okay, so until we hear back from them,
We'll keep hand on.
any objections?
No,
Okay, I'll take care of that tomorrow. Just for the record, I'll let you know now, I'm just gonna call tomorrow. Okay, continue.
I recommend, and I have said, people have heard me whining about this since I started. The broken down rotted fence, split rail fence, that's leaning in every part of the township other than Heritage Park. I believe should be removed. I'm not a fan of putting it back, because then we're gonna replace it again, maybe in OR, I mean, maybe before I'm going. If we remove it and we're worried about people driving on that area, we put the rocks, which a load of rocks is cheaper than the equivalent length of fence. If we had, I think that load of rocks that we got was a ton, was $750 to line that area between my labor and the cost of the fence would have been over $1,000.
Which fence are we?
And if we put split rail fence along the property line there at the chapel.
What, the chapel you're talking, or where are you talking? You're talking.
I'm just saying that we use rocks
Oh, yeah.
instead of fencing there.
Yeah.
And the cost of the rocks was $750. And for the length of that run, we would have had around 10 sections of fence and my labor to dig the holes to put it down and to set it. And
I think it was about $5,000 to do that,
well,
if I recall.
it would have been a substantially higher than $750. And
Right,
just for the cost of the fence would have been $750.
so you're saying instead of putting the fence up, we'll just line the perimeter with rocks?
Yes, if we, and there, we've lost, like, we were, at one of the access sites. They ripped the fence out and drove through it. Last 4th of July, was it? Yes, it was over the 4th of July. And not only did it happen, but not one officer saw it happen. Which is where they hang out. It's Lake Street. They hang there.
They take that fence out so they can get the dumpsters in there.
Somebody
What?
drove through there and
So they can
launched
get the
a,
dumpsters in there.
Dumpster, is that what you said?
Yeah,
somebody drove through there.
if
and
you don't take
this
the
was
fence
what I was
out,
told
put
by
the
the neighbor.
dumpsters there, the dumpsters
Oh,
there
so
where
the
the hot
big
cars sit.
dumpster is
Yeah.
put inside. I
Yep.
don't remember seeing it.
Yep.
Like that.
They've always done that.
I would like to, throw something in there that we have Jennifer looking at grants for both places. I'm for what you say. And getting rid of the old fences, but I'm thinking maybe we gotta find out what their plans are with the grants. Before we go getting the rocks, we
That's
should
for the
know pretty
cement.
soon.
Well, are they going to re-fence it with the grants? Are they?
They're drawing it up, they're doing,
I would like to see chain link fence down on all the access sites.
I know that I spoke with the Park and Rec Committee.
No, then now we're off topic.
And that
No, I'm just
fencing,
saying. Yeah, I know.
they just in favor of taking it down.
I'm in favor of taking it down.
It looks horrid. And especially that line along the woods is just, I don't know what it's there for in the first place. We're not trying to keep people from walking down to the river.
Mhm.
And, we don't need anything. There's a cost savings of $5,000 or $6,000 just right there. And we've lost enough fence because if somebody wants to drive out there, they just rip the fence out and drive. They won't move around. I mean, you think I don't own a rock pool, so I'm not punching rocks because I'm gonna have any benefit out of it. They will outlive everybody that is alive.
You're just
today.
saying they're harder to move.
And
I,
if they move them, then nothing was gonna keep them out of there. You know what I'm saying? They're already turned down, and there's already sections of fence that were broken out over the last 2 years or so that we couldn't replace because the base was rotted and they just broke it off and moved it. And they wanted to buy through they can't.
Let's get a price on what rocks are available first.
what I'm suggesting is that we wait, take out where people are gonna drive, protect it with the rocks. But not put rocks all the way where all the fences are that isn't.
No, I mean, they're just wholesale, but the stuff that's rotted
Yeah.
and looks terrible or
Yeah.
is a safety concern should come down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'll give you an example.
want
We
you to
have a
twice.
kayak launch that we paid a good deal of money for.
Mhm.
And I've watched on several occasions, people struggle to unload their kayaks over that fence to get to the launch, because if you park out to the road, you're gonna get hit. But if you pull into where you're parked, you have to unload it over the fence. And all you have to be is not in really good shape, and it's a struggle. And I'm not saying take the fence down that borders the, property owners, the, neighbors, but just replace the fence that's
The
across.
front of,
Let them have walk through when you back up. You can walk between the rocks with the kayak, you can't drive through it. And I think that would make access to that area a lot better. Right now, there's a narrow, I get a push mower through there right now. That's the only thing I can get in there is a push mower. And it's not very wide at all. And then there's signs on either side of the gate. So if you are trying to unload it over the fence and then you have to run, it's a pain and it's a struggle. That's again up to y'all. If we do something like that, that fence can actually be used somewhere else because it's not bad. We're not tearing it down because it's rotted.
The Lake Street access never was intended for a launch.
yeah,
But it has one now.
I know, but it was put in for a bypass on the river.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
what,
where the original was, it wasn't a bypass, it was
that
original.
was the plan was that. So the kayakers didn't have to fight the current and all the boats in the river. Yeah. So, you know, cause there's no parking there for
We had
them,
it donated.
you know.
The other, I got one question about Lake Street, I'll just throw it out there. Are we required on the lakeside to have parking spaces there? Can it be just a drop off for people? Because what we're finding, people will go there, park their cars all day and spend out in the sandbar. And so when people wanna come and hang out there, I just feel like that's not a good place and they're cramming their cars in there. It just, I just wonder if we can close that,
And I
just
don't-
for a drop off, make it for a drop your people off. And they can walk, but a lot of them are just spending, they're going out there and they're leaving their cars there all day. I don't know.
Getting back to the maintenance, it sounds like Greg has already talked to the Park and Recs and.
I talked, it's about Freedom Park, that is the worst fence. And in our discussions,
You know, I think we should give, our maintenance personnel some leniency to make some of these decisions. You know, I.
well,
think
even
it's-
at Lake Street, there should be enough room where you can just set a couple rocks in there to prevent parking, but still allow somebody to unload a kayak.
well, now we have issue of the, pump out trucks come every Friday. And they need to back in there.
Mhm.
And, they park, law enforcement parks there
Mhm.
during the season.
Okay, so. The devil's in the detail.
We might have to put a sign, no daily parking or all day. parking.
And I don't
Put a
know,
meter.
2 hours.
because it is our access parking,
Mhm.
I don't know how that would be something that you guys would probably have to take. I don't know how we could stop somebody from parking there, walking out to the sandbar. Or.
You put a
what-
2 hour,
in-
you put a 2 hour limit on there for
You-
Put a meter up.
kayaker goes out and
We are gonna get that new
You are.
DNR launch, so there's gonna be more access to there.
I would say work with Park and Recreation to make it happen. You know,
We can discuss it, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
You have to check,
you've already talked with Park and Recs on
Yes,
some of this stuff. I would say talk with Park and Recs and make some of this stuff happen.
Okay, in the meeting I was at, several meetings I was at, and the discussion of the fence came up, and they said, like at Freedom, that's some god awful fencing, and you have our blessing to take it down, but they don't run the township, you guys
Right.
do.
No, I
And
think
just
that's
one
what
of
the
those
original.
things that I want to make sure you guys are aware of that's happening, and not just going off and doing it because.
so we don't get a bunch of phone calls saying, what's your maintenance guy doing?
Right. So I don't know how
Better
the
down.
board feels, but I'm okay with some of this stuff as far
Let's
as.
see if we can come up with a game plan for, even if it's just a, 2 hour limit on parking down there, but you might wanna check with the road
I don't know how
commission.
we keep track of that.
It's our, well, it's our roadway. Okay, so, I think we could slap a parking restriction on there, but I'll have to check.
Does when they come and dump the porta johns, do they have that, or do they have a big hose that they?
There's a gate back, in the back at Freedom, for them to come along, and pump out.
Because if we could make it, so you had to drive in this way, and then they could still do what they have to do there, then that would take care of people come in, drop off.
And at this point, because enough fence has been taken down because people wanted to drive over to the picnic tables or drive back to the play area, the pump out truck can actually make a circle. Instead of having to go pump out and then go back.
It's hard backing out of there.
So-
It's
No,
hard.
I'm not saying back out, but,
Yeah.
and we've also, trimmed those out of control lilac bushes down so that there is a lot more room back in that little area, not only for the pump out truck and the placement of the porta john, but there's also sight lines through there so that somebody or some group of somebody, they can't sit behind that bush and do things that we don't approve of. They're gonna have to go into the woods.
One, Mr. Chair, can I s-
To make a list, an individual list, say like, okay, the Freedom Park, the lake access, which one that you like to
Yes.
see changes to, and bring it to the next meeting.
I can,
So we can, cause we're jumping around here.
can I make
Yeah.
one more
Yes.
thing? I just want, you know, the road committee is addressing, it's been 3 years now, there's that much of a drop off
Yeah.
when you go down there.
Yeah.
It's horrible, and the road committee's trying to.
That
go
would be
there.
my suggestion.
Mhm.
Come up with
I
a
agree.
Yeah,
How
but
much of
detailed
that
list.
is
as far as
parks?
the fencing goes, yeah, just what you wanna take down and.
well, I can get not only a list, but, if you want a few pictures of.
Yeah.
The reasoning or what it looks like to the people who come here.
Yeah.
And have them go to the next meeting.
Thank you.
And we're just weeks ahead, because of our great winter that we've had, or the back winter we've had. The cemetery will be ready to go on Memorial Day, the access sites will be ready to go when it's swimming weather.
I did get a phone call from a gentleman in Grand Rapids whose mother died today. Evidently she was in or assisted living for 12 years with dementia. Who wants to dig his mom's gravesite by himself? Okay, so he's gonna need to know, evidently the headstone's already there. The husband's been, in the ground for quite some time. So the spot is reserved for him, and I don't know. Usually we have the funeral home comes out and with their contract.
If they just want to see it and I have a name and it's a stone there, there's no problem finding it.
Basically,
I also,
what you would need to do is just mark out,
we need, a new metal detector. I do not know, I'm gonna say that our old one had to have disappeared during the breaking and entering, because I know it was there, I used it. I used it before August of last year. It's not there anymore. We've had the discussion. I went out there with a metal pole the last 2 times and poked it in the ground until I found what I was looking for.
okay?
They don't have to be expensive.
Find what you want and give me a call.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of the same ones they use for finding.
Credit card.
This guy, is this gonna be a cremation burial or?
So, both.
That's, I don't know how long.
He said, well, that's, I'm saying, you're gonna take this, he said, he works for the funeral home in Kalkaska. So he says, I dug graves by hand.
Really?
Pete said that it's okay lawfully, and for if you cremate it, you can dig your own 2x4 and put it in,
Right.
that there's no.
This is a full-size grave site.
Yeah, as long as you know where it's been flagged out.
Right, so what I'm saying is I'm gonna send them to you to mark out that site.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem,
Okay.
not a problem.
That's weird, phone. Not me.
Is that all you
Okay.
got, Frank?
And I'm done completely, and appreciate you guys listening.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for coming and, sharing this, maintenance report. It kind of helps us, gives us.
Yeah, and I intend for you to have one at every meeting from here on out, so that you not only are aware of, Greg's aware of on a fairly regular basis what's going on, what we've accomplished or didn't accomplish, but you guys will know more if, you know.
Thank you.
I've got 3 things that you have on your list for immediate attention. One's a truck tire. Okay, so we need a price on that. The other one is your hazard light. Now, both lights, having the old light bar removed with the red light on it,
Yes.
and then getting the, yellow flasher for the, is it the Ram?
Yes, I'll get that.
And then a metal detector.
I will get a hold of Mike Lee and make an appointment, and have him, we'll set a time for him to come and remove it. Versus doing it in the parking lot at the fire barn in Alden, which is what he suggested, I told him that we would use Heritage, where we could pull it inside. We could work on it, whether it was bad weather or not.
Okay, and then the snowplow trim blades on the bottom, that need to be done.
Yes, I'll get with Arts and find out what they would charge to filters, fluid change, cutting edge, and get that for the next meeting.
And that's on the GM, the big one,
Yes, that's under Sherwood.
GM service. Okay. All right. I think that about wraps up maintenance.
Thank you, Craig.
You're welcome. And I appreciate y'all.
Okay, so where are we here? Basically, on my, yeah, legal reports.
We kind of went through legal reports already.
Okay, West, I didn't hear from. And the former clerk's draft letter, we can either deal with that now and toss it off the list under, I think I have it under old business.
Yeah, you have the unfinished business.
Yes, please. So basically what this is, and when I called the attorney, I told him, I said, be nice. I said, she did state at one meeting that she would, repay any overage, but I don't think she realized, what that amount was. Okay, so the, special audit came up with $4,005.18. That's included in the letter. With a request for her to, contact, the legal, with a response. That's what I'm looking for, is a response out of them. Okay, whether or not she will repay the money, and if she suggests some sort of repayment plan. So if nobody has any objections to the language as it was. I could read it, but it's. Okay, and the,
I read it. It's
The
pretty
under-
cut and dried. I read it. It's pretty cut and dried.
okay. So I just want, the board's permission to, and seeing this involves, $4,000 of taxpayer money, I think I'd like to go for a roll call vote. We would move that we, approve the draft and have, township legal send a letter to Melinda Boyd for restitution of overpayments.
I would second that motion.
The 10B off list.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Craig Bradley,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Tom Backers,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes.
Okay, item C on this is, the 911 program. This is the county program. What I do with the thunder, oh, there we go. And what they're requesting is, because we have our own fire department and, ambulance and communications center. They want to know if we would be a secondary, point of contact for use, during an emergency as a comm center and dispatch. Basically receive 911 calls and respond or request assistance from, another source like, cell torch. So there is an agreement in here. Find it.
Can you explain that, Greg, what they're asking?
Yeah, what they're looking for is, because we're on the same circuit that Kalkaska is, okay. If the 911 line between Kalkaska, right now, the backup is either Grand Traverse or Antrim. So if either one of those 911 lines get cut, we don't have communications.
Okay.
You know, they would transfer the calls there. Now what they're saying is, see, now we're on the same circuit. You know,
Okay, so it's.
so what they're looking for is if there's a disaster, and everybody gets wiped out.
Right. They want a secondary comm center. This is
So they
appendix 1 of the plan from the county plan. Notice of intent to function as a PSAP, which is a point of, you can read the definition.
You know what that is, Greg?
Hmm?
You know what that is?
Page 12.
Peace, I think it's public service access.
Yeah, public service access, services access point. So, basically, a 911 call, in the event of this emergency could go basically our firehouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Instead
where
of
it would
sitting
be
at dispatch.
Yeah.
Okay,
It would be located at the fire department?
It would just come to our phone line and we have,
Oh,
right.
okay.
pursuant to the
Who's
provisions of
paying that?
emergency 911
Hmm?
service.
Who would
enabling
man
act.
that?
they'll have to dispatch somebody.
is there a cost?
Yeah.
Wow.
There, no? Okay, this one.
No, it shall cost us. Public Act 32, 1986 as amended, each public safety agency has 45 days after receipt of this tentative 911 service plan to file with the county clerk a notice of intent to function as a PSAP. That's what this is. Okay, notice of intent as a PSAP or a secondary PSAP, and we would be a secondary. All right. Pursuant to section 307 of the Emergency 911 Service Enabling Act, Clearwater, and fill in the blanks, Clearwater Township shall function as a check one secondary PSAP or primary PSAP within the 911 service district of the tentative 911 service plan adopted by resolution by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Kalkaska on X date here. Has this been signed, Sherman?
No.
So you're waiting for everybody's response?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think you sent one of those there to towns that did,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so in other words, for an official response, I move that Clearwater Township volunteer those services as a secondary PSAP for Kalkaska County under their 911 emergency plan. Second,
I'll second that.
and roll call vote for her.
Okay, Tom Backers,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes, Albert Keys.
Yeah,
Greg,
yeah.
we were posted up on my town,
Who's that?
Mike Thompson,
Who's that? I mean,
the emergency manager.
oh, Mike Thompson. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you now. Yeah,
So he covered all this.
yeah. Yeah, he's the 911 or
Yeah.
emergency manager coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were supposed to. Right.
I have in the past, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think the way it worked, they would send a deputy out there, actually, we all were gonna fly on the phone, he like cut down.
Move the trucks, I was very good.
This one,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They'll have to sleep with the
This
ambulance.
is 38 pages long. So I did forward
That's
it
the
to
one that
Derek,
came-
yeah,
Okay.
so you're taking care of that.
And you read through it and there's no cost to us at all on that, right?
Hmm.
There's no cost to the township at all.
Nope. I mean, we're paying our fire department anyway to answer the phones.
Well, they actually send somebody else to answer the phone. Fire department.
Okay. I haven't read through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I
That's
did
what the
read,
plan calls for, what the plan is the day it happens, I don't know.
I did figure out what they wanted, that's. Okay, reports, treasurer,
Did you all get the report come over there? Total in all of our funds is 1,235,424.94. And you can see it's just, we've had to disperse because we can't keep more than 250,000 in the bank. We're watching those accounts closely. And while it's in the ARP fund, or not the ARP fund, the Michigan class is drawing, I think it's 5.5% interest. And you can see just the ARPA fund alone is drawing $1,000 a month. By going through the Michigan class. So we're watching that liquid when we need it. Watch especially the road fund because, we have to come up with what roads we're gonna do. So we can, but we can also. move it.
Jim's not here, I know he suggested, the county suggested a roads list.
I think they were talking about coming over after the heritage.
Okay, and we have a meeting next Tuesday, the road, right? Road committee meeting is next Tuesday. Yeah, we had the public safety and that, this was before those
I
meetings.
know they were gonna do a chip and seal on Valley. And we were responsible for 20% of that.
That's getting ahead, on the agenda. We'll get to roads in just a minute.
But
Sorry.
anyway, people are paying their taxes online and they're using credit card. We still are waiting to do other payments, or for them to go on the BSNA. We're waiting for Centerras to connect up with BSNA and that will even make it easier for people to do it. Teresa on our public safety committee actually did it today. She's down in Force. Oh my gosh, so she went out and paid it online. She was so excited. Some people are still having difficulty and Angie is helping a lot with showing people how to do it.
Okay, and what we want is the BSA program installed on the server.
Yeah, Centerras has to hook that up so it'll work. I don't understand all the technical
That's
stuff.
the whole program, that's the whole program.
They wanted Dee to set up appointments. She says, no, you're two big companies. You set up your appointments with
Well,
each other.
I did send them an email about D asked the
I'm
person.
not sure they've ever done that before, because they're kind of new up
Well,
here.
what I'm gonna do is invite Chad down and we'll
That would
sit
be
down
nice.
and figure out exactly
Because
what
that
you
would be
want
good.
and exactly how to do it. So-
And we're still waiting to get the other payments to be able to do those online. That hasn't happened yet, like our pickleball and stuff like that. This is gonna save a lot of time.
Oh, you mean Reynolds?
Huh? Yeah, that's gonna save a lot of time when we can do that.
Okay.
We're already saving a lot of time right now.
And then Reynolds. Anything else? Okay, clerk.
I did print you a balance sheet. As you know, the treasurer's report is for the end of January, so, I mean, we're a couple weeks in, so I printed out the current balances. However, these balances do not show the Michigan class investments, so everything is in here instead of, and in Michigan class. Just so you could
And
have
I have
that.
paperwork for you that I have to copy and give it to you. I just got it.
Well, you talking about this one here?
Yeah.
Well, on the fire one, what is the minus $154,000?
I have no idea. You know, I really don't know what that is. I think,
Can we change that to a plus?
yeah, let's do that.
Is that having to do with,
It,
with everything
That-
going into the one fund? We haven't changed the name yet. We're using the fire equipment.
I
fund.
just told QuickBooks to give me a balance sheet and that's what it said. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So I don't know what that debit is.
Could it be because when I take, I have to enter,
Huntington has one too. It might be all of the bills that have been paid in the last year.
oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay,
So
so,
we're just looking at balances.
all right.
Anyways,
So you get-
on your expenses by vendor detail, you'll see Centaurus has a very large amount that we paid them, but that was because there were 4 invoices that got lost in translation through emails. And
That was,
one thing that I have discovered because of that, when they sent me that statement and I started looking back to find out what we had paid and what we hadn't paid and when we had paid, I didn't realize, but actually we are paying 2 separate invoices every month for Centaurus. We pay a regular invoice and we pay a C-Care invoice. I don't know why there are 2, one I think maybe service,
right,
when they,
yeah, C-Care, I believe, is the service, when you make the, it's customer
it's
care.
just for the, oh,
Customer care.
C-Care is the customer care?
All right,
So whenever we call them to do something,
Right.
that's the C-Care
then you
invoice?
get a C-Care invoice.
Yeah, so we're invoiced twice a month
Okay,
from Centaurus,
all right.
and it's quite a large amount.
Are we calling them?
Is there,
How often are we
We're
calling?
trying to straighten out, DSNA, and she's been having problems with her.
Okay.
She got, it's because they had to do every person's computer separately. And whenever there was an issue, if we had to call them because things weren't working or went missing or what, for whatever reason, we have to call
Sure.
them.
may
We
I ask,
end up, yeah, paying.
excuse me, may I ask a question?
Yes.
We have nothing to compare with. The amounts we're being charged. Would it be possible somehow to figure that out? We didn't get any other bids, and, could we check with some other companies? And just ask them what their regular monthly charge would be after everything is set up? And see if we can save some money. Just a thought, I don't know.
And we have to get everything set up for,
I mean, are we locked into them for life? I guess that's what I'm wondering. Because then we're,
All right, would be another question.
Are there any other questions on that expenses by vendor detail report? Payments that were made?
that's the big minuses.
That's the other report. We're not talking about that. Sorry. Another thing that I have is, I was reconciling the bank accounts, which the clerk does balance with the treasurer and with the bank. But when I was reconciling the fire equipment fund, the bank account, I noticed that one of our checks processed for the wrong amount. I look at the copy of the check, the picture of it that is in the statement that they send me, and I have the right amount, they have the wrong amount, okay? So I went to the bank today to tell them, this is a bank error, you messed up on this. It's a $9 difference, but it's a paycheck. So somebody got shorted $9 on their paycheck. They said, we'll put a ticket in and see what we can do to fix that. Within 2 minutes of leaving the bank, I got a phone call. The phone call that I got told me, oh, well, it's only $9. Since it's under $25, we can't fix it. The bank told us they cannot fix their error.
This is Huntington.
No, this is Alden.
Oh. That's why we're dealing with Huntington.
I was not happy about that, and they're waiting for me to figure out what we're gonna do. They suggested we, issue a $9 check to the person to make up the difference. So they want us to write another check to cover that $9.
Well,
I gotta check with the auditor and find out how that will affect taxes. I don't know.
Why couldn't they give us that?
I don't understand it, but just so you know, I'm having an issue with Alden Bank, and that is my issue.
And are you done?
No,
Okay.
well, with that, but,
call the manager.
that's
That's
what
what I
somebody else
mentioned, Tammy.
suggested too. Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked
No,
about
that
it.
was probably one of the head teller over there or something, but I would call the manager and have that straightened out. Have them issue a check
Yeah, they.
for $9 and let their books get all screwed up.
Right. Only other thing I wanted to say is that we had a meeting today with our, team for the early voting, and, we're pretty well set on what we're doing, and we've
Next
had
steps.
all the training we could get, and now it's just, we're gonna see what happens. Everything is secure, just so you know. It's just all new, and we're gonna play it by ear, but we have great instruction booklets for what we're supposed to do, and that's what we're doing. And I have people who are, very qualified and, experienced, so they are leading it, and I defer to them because they know what they're doing. That I've been trained, but I'm not really sure what's going on.
You won't know how well until it happens.
Yeah, yeah. We anticipate, because it's the first time, people are unsure of it, really unaware about this happening. Even my own parents, I mentioned it to them, they're like, what are you talking about? Early voting, when did that happen? So we don't expect a whole lot of people coming in, but we did go ahead and, cancel all the reservations for pickleball players. So you'll be happy about that, Jonas. It just turned out that there
That
was
was
not,
gonna be a problem.
it was gonna be very hard to maneuver around them.
When did you find out about that? Was it just like last minute?
Yeah, it did, Christmas.
One thing I would like to add before we go on, I would ask the clerk on these big minuses. Can you, give us an answer on why
What
Why
that
they're
is.
there,
at the next meeting, why they're,
Just do some research.
I can ask, but you know, there's not a
oh, this
QuickBook
is,
reports, it's just a QuickBook
this is
report.
QuickBooks,
It's
they don't
yeah.
answer the phone and,
You can't really call somebody and ask them, so I can ask somebody who might have a little more knowledge than I have.
yeah,
I'll try to get an answer for you.
maybe Dee knows what it is.
She might.
Mr. Chair, you didn't bring up about the fact, don't we need a board permission letter to do some changes when we get ready to do it?
Yes, yes, we wanted to, change the name of the bank account for the fire department.
Okay.
Right now, we switched everything into one account, and that's the fire equipment bank account. It really is just the fire department. So we want, which in our QuickBooks is separated between equipment and fire fund.
Okay, so you want
So-
the account under one name.
We want it is under one name, but we need to change that name to fire department instead of fire equipment. We're gonna wait and do that next month, so we'll bring that up for a vote. It has to be a vote, it has to be in the minutes.
Right.
And it
Because we
has
have to
be
order
approved. We have
checks,
to
we're
order
almost out of those
checks with the
checks.
new names.
Are you,
And so I'd like to start the new fiscal year with the new checks and the new name.
are you still gonna be able to report each individual account?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Because it is two separate taxes.
That is what we've been doing since we combined.
Okay.
Yep,
And I don't know if they need to know, but we need to close out two
Yeah.
accounts there,
yeah,
because
there's,
we're getting like 12 cents interest and 11 cents interest.
there's still several checks in the tax account at Alden Bank that never cleared. They were overpayments, I believe, that were reimbursed to people for their taxes. And sometimes people send in an even amount when it's an odd amount. They just round it off, and you can't do that. So they get a check in return. And I have several of those that never cleared. They're almost a year old now, so I'm pretty sure that those would just be able to be voided.
void out.
Mhm. And then, it's at the general fund, the old general fund, there were still a couple of checks in there that hadn't cleared. And you'll notice on that balance sheet that there is actually almost $1,000 in the old general fund. Where did that go?
We'll just take,
Yeah.
he said we'll just take. a note.
780-74.
Close
that's
the
actually the
account.
whole-
He said,
Okay.
close the account, just take a note. If people call, then we'll deal with it.
Right,
Oh,
and I don't know, that $700, whatever, we don't know why that, it was an error somehow in Dee's math. When she figured out what we were transferring from Alden to Huntington. So I think she shorted the account that much. However, both accounts balance, so
okay, so basically what we're saying, we can
that
withdraw
money,
this.
yeah, a check can be written and it can go right into Huntington.
And then the general,
And then we
fund-
can close it.
the general fund will be basically at 100 in
Yes.
that point.
Yeah. We haven't even been using that account, it's just been including that interest.
So.
So,
Do we need a-
yes.
Do we need a vote to close that?
no, I think that's it, the treasurer's, and it's already been approved because we did already move that fund. We just haven't been able to close it because those checks were still.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
I think that is it for me.
Okay, the sheriff's contract. Okay, there was a question by the public safety chair about why 40 hours? And it's in the minutes. It was requested that we request 40 hours a month under the new sheriff's contract, so that answers that question. My only question, I wish Pat was here, if you notice, 40 hours, schedule may be modified as needed by the sheriff, and structure needs as vary with the seasons. Okay, that was my original amendment translated through the county legal. Okay, so basically reserved patrol response hours,
They want us to track that?
township will note and track, well, it should be in their monthly report.
Yeah.
Should be in their monthly report, but we need to keep,
Okay, who's
Keep an
gonna
eye
be
on it,
responsible for that?
because if you go to the overtime page here, which would be on page 3 at the top. Okay, township understands and agrees that all authorized and approved work performed in excess of 40 hours in any one month. My question was, does that include his county hours or is that just township hours? Okay, 40 hours in any one month for us, right? We're paying $65 an hour, $67.06 an hour overtime. Now, I see that becoming a problem in the summer. 4th of July weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, and et cetera, et cetera.
How is 40 hours a month? Anything over 40 hours in a month considered overtime?
Now, here's what I'm saying, and yeah, because my question was,
That's 10 hours a week.
okay, it exceeds the contracted hours per
Yeah.
month.
That would have to be authorized by the.
Right. Right, so so here's the deal, because he's not here. I can ask several questions, but the overtime was what caught my eye.
Mhm.
Simply because if he's responding to a call from Central Dispatch in Clearwater Township, how do you separate those hours? That was a county response, whether it came from
Right,
Clearwater Township as part of this contract, or is it included in those contract hours? If it was a traffic accident,
yeah, that should be.
Okay. this is the fuzzy part.
It would be nice to have a sheriff here to actually go over this,
Right, Well, this wouldn't begin until March the 1st, so I can get a response out of him. What are the questions that I need to be asking?
I think we should request his presence.
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, I would request as.
The public safety is
Yeah,
working
it's-
hard on this, and I just got this today. And they haven't met, we haven't met. Monday, usually it's before the board meeting, that is coming up Monday, we'll have 2 public safety meetings before the next township meeting. And I would like to go over all of it and get what they come up with and try to come up with what they've suggested, and that have them be able to ask questions of the sheriff or whatever we can do.
Yeah,
Then
and
plan
have
on
the
making the
sheriff go there,
decision in March.
And then reach out to the sheriff and have the sheriff.
Yeah,
go
have
to
them
their
here.
meeting and go
And it
through
has been
with them.
suggested, wondering if we could, because we really don't need the winter hours. If we could double up and do it May through October and have more hours here. Pay them year round, but have the majority of the hours in the summer.
I think that's
Not
gonna
at
be
overtime.
extremely difficult because it goes back to what are township hours and what are county hours when they're in the township.
You know, and the other thing is manpower.
Yeah.
Okay, he has to have the deputies available to fulfill his contract, and if he doesn't have them, okay, sometimes we're not gonna get 40 hours a month, and whether, I don't care if it's 4th of July weekend, because they're busy doing other stuff, all right, so.
We don't have any guarantee.
And, I mean, I know he wanted to hire another deputy, but I don't know the status of that situation. He does have one new one, but he wanted to hire another one this year. Okay, Truman's nodding his head, so, and I think a lot of
If you
that,
wanted to, we approve more.
okay.
But, you know, this money, go
But this is what caught my eye. So now I can request. Your meeting is Monday, public safety.
We have 2 before the next board meeting. And I think Teresa's online. Is she online? Did she come back on? She was the Zoom? She was gonna be on Zoom tonight.
I don't know, I'd see Mary Beth.
Christina, have you seen Teresa on Zoom? She's in Florida.
Which Teresa?
Sherman.
Yeah, she was on.
Okay.
I don't know if she still is.
She has really been helpful on the legal
Because
side.
I had a question on, page 1, letter C. Where it says upon township zoning administrator request. We don't know where that's gonna go. I would also add, or designee. Whoever is designated,
Right,
you know, we need to throw something in there where it's not the actually.
it doesn't have to be the zoning administrator or a
We just
designated representative,
Yeah, yeah,
Township.
township representative. Or township representative.
So the way I read this, and the overtime is. He puts in 40 hours in a month, number 41 is 4 documented for Clearwater Township under this contract. Okay, now we're paying 6706 now. And what we need would be projected overtime or even accrued overtime to be A, justified and B, documented. So we know what it was for, where it was, when it was.
How long it was.
Well, right there, the help on that concern is, so it must be approved by the sheriff, and I think the sheriff should notify us when somebody is going on overtime. So at the end of the month, we don't find out with that
Right,
extra 40 hours,
that they did 54 hours and
just. I mean, the sheriff has to do it in writing, he can just make a phone call and say, we got, you're on
Right.
overtime
She
now,
got kicked out of Zoom and couldn't get back in.
okay,
So all overtime must be
We don't know
approved
that's
and authorized in writing by the sheriff prior to the work.
And notification to the township.
All overtime must be approved and authorized in writing by the sheriff
That,
prior to being worked and the township notified.
here. That's Teresa. She's been, Kevin and I in Zoom don't see anyone. Got kicked out of Zoom.
In other words, request the overtime.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, we're talking about township money.
right,
Well, it doesn't give them hard block.
So you're making notes of all these things that. need to be
now, see,
addressed.
here's the deal, with the reserve bank hours. So this says 40 hours a week. If he's gonna move hours from the winter time, say you do 20 months of welfare check on vacant homes and a couple of responses. And takes that 20 hours from, say, March and moves it to July. Okay, that means he's paying the same rate for those 60 hours. Under his contract, and overtime starts at hour 61.
That's not what that says, though.
I think on the overtime in the summertime, you paid them about $2,000, don't you?
Yeah, it's,
I think we said a dollar amount.
I think
I think it was $5,000 for extra shirt patrols or something.
And TOPA is the producer, they get $5,000 for the summertime, January.
it would be,
Then my money goes to, the sheriff.
Mhm.
And I think.
We approved, over the last 3 years, $8,000 for the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, and I think you kicked in $2,000.
But I think that covers overtime and sled.
Yeah, well, it does, and for extra people for the 4th of July weekend per se, but it doesn't.
And
Right, that's all it comes.
note too, that rate increases in January 2025.
Yeah, well, because the
Union contract.
union contract has built-in raises.
Right.
I think we mentioned it last month, we need to do what we need to do this summer, but consider a millage. Because unless we get an increase in running the township on the ballot in a couple months,
I'm okay with that, but we need to deal with this.
Yeah, we got, yeah,
yeah, I mean,
that's
I
going
think
down
that'll
the
take a
road, we're
while.
not gonna be here for.
So basically, the question boils down to overtime and summer overtime especially.
It would be nice if he was present and we could all go over this at one time.
And then, and in that would be banked or reserved hours from the winter. I mean, if we're contracting for 40 hours a month and he moves any part of that from the winter to the summer, it should be at the same rate.
I agree.
Until banked hours are used up.
they sure been busy this last week. Yeah. On their time.
Well, I got this morning.
Did you? Yeah, we need more time to.
I know he wanted to start it on March 1st, but I don't think we're ready to start it on March 1st.
Start with the fiscal year.
And we have to have
Fiscal year.
We'd have to have a special meeting, which I'm okay with if we could get him here.
Yeah. I'll talk to him
After the
tomorrow,
election.
tell him we got,
Wouldn't it seem practical to start fiscal year, do fiscal year? April 1st to April 1st?
well, we could start at April 1st too. The thing about it is their contract goes by the calendar year. All right, so the figures that he's quoting here, like she just brought up,
So, Mark,
January 1st of 2025, these hourly rates go up. So for budgeting purposes, you know. But that only covers the first quarter of the year. You know, at that point, you know the new rate, so you can plan. As far as that goes, the question is this paragraph on overtime.
I think the real question is, are we gonna be able to bank hours?
Are we gonna be able to what?
bank hours.
Basically, that's what.
Yeah, it goes down, you know, when we work less in winter months. And we work more in summer months, when we still getting paid overtime.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, the bank hours, see, once we sign the contract, we'll have a deputy here at every meeting, okay? So basically, what we can tell them is, okay, if you're spending 30 hours a month and your report says nothing happened. Okay, then why don't we knock it down to 25 next month or 20 or whatever, and just bank those hours from the summertime. But we have to get the sheriff to agree that the bank hours used in excess of 40 hours during the summertime are charged to us at the same rate that they would have been if they were used in the winter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you're banking hours, are you getting the same back in July, or are you paying an extra half
Right,
for July hours?
right. Okay, we're not here to, fill the holes in his budget. We're trying to fill the holes in ours.
Christine's been doing real good reporting you have here, but she puts it on Clearwater Township Matters, all their runs that do in the whole county every month.
The
It's
report,
pretty interesting.
they put that report on Facebook and I share it.
Fire department reports to go up there, the incident. report.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Okay. All right, well, this goes back to the drawing board for overtime and your, what was, you had section
For
C.
public safety review.
Yeah, zoning administration request for a township rep. Representative.
Right, okay, so amend that portion of it. And then, you wanted to commence on April 1st instead of March 1st, that gives us a meeting to. So we have to change the date on that, yeah.
So, enforcement of township ordinances, that means blight, noise, all of that.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
the STR when it becomes viable.
And if we get an ordinance officer,
how are they?
Well,
enforcing
here's the
this?
deal.
The sheriff's department?
I'm not gonna get into
Oh,
this.
that's.
Let's wait till March the 2nd.
Yeah,
And
let's talk
I'm
about
telling
that.
you how we can fund a community safety officer with license fees.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we'll have zoning administrator will have help. Okay. Anyway, but that would, well, I'm saying you gotta do something with the money, but you
Yeah.
have to make the license, fees.
You gotta make the license fees enough to cover the cost.
Right.
We also
And
have
the
to
administration
fund
of the
it's gonna
system,
fit
because
in
we're
the
gonna have to
budget.
farm that out
yeah,
too.
that's huge.
This,
We got,
Anyway,
this
that's,
money's not in the budget.
we'll wait till March the 2nd to go over all that stuff. But yes, that came to mind immediately when I said, okay, a community safety officer can also assist the zoning administration
mhm.
in the enforcement of all our ordinances, police power and ordinance, zoning, noise, light, and STR. Anyway, and that pays for the sheriff's company. Also,
And Marv is willing to go month by month and take half of what he had and help train.
Okay,
all right.
can we get back to this?
Okay, does anybody see anything else in here other than changing the day of effective date? So basically what we're doing is we're contracting with the sheriff's department for 12 months. And, 9 of which are gonna be at this rate. And 3 of which will be at an unknown rate. Will change on January 1st of 2025. Okay. So finally,
Well, we are gonna have to adjust our budget anyways, if we're gonna try to put this in there.
okay. On the first day of April. Right, first line. Okay, I will make these changes in red. Okay, and put the question in here. make it PDF and I'll ship it off to them with their email. And these are our questions. All right, moving on. What we got next?
There might be a few more after the meeting Monday, but things we might want to address.
Public Safety Committee. Okay, I did get a letter from, Mr. West, mostly,
I haven't done to the sheriff's
Huh?
I didn't print it.
contract, this, all of
Yeah,
this stuff.
sheriff's contract concern.
Yeah, it's like 11 questions.
Okay. You wanna review these?
No, because they go with this contract and they're gonna look at the contract anyway, so we'll let them look at the
Right.
contract, see if they can
Okay.
answer their questions or talk to the sheriff about it.
Okay, roads,
Put something in the paper for this.
roads committee, we did have a
It-
list from, the county. But we also have to consider,
yeah.
the, Underhill bridges. Okay, X amount of Underhill is gonna be paid until the money runs out, and an unknown sum to basically pay the remainder.
I'm sorry, you moved to roads and public safety. I don't know if you saw this, but we did have an application. I gave it to you.
The zoning enforcement officer,
Yes.
John West.
Are you
Yes.
gonna be, I just wonder if you could put, we could put it in the paper, see if anyone.
Well, we're gonna have to.
Yeah. This month.
Actually, that was already supposed to be done, wasn't
But for
it?
a zoning enforcement officer,
Or zoning.
Ordinance, what they say, it was
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
what we need is a zoning administrator. And, well, that would be
Actually-
zoning enforcement officer would be the same thing, so,
Ac-
and until we create another position for zoning, if and when we do that, okay, then we'd have to, repeat the process.
Actually, Marv has agreed to go month to month and train whoever is, and, we're hoping to get this done really quick.
So,
What we're gonna do so they can be sent to the training in April,
okay,
which Marv teaches.
so is this gonna be put in the paper?
Yes,
Okay,
Okay.
and we should probably start
Alright.
thinking about this at our next meeting,
Mm-hmm.
get things finalized
Mhm.
before, spring hits.
We need to
Yes.
choose at the next meeting, so whoever it is, we can send to the MTA training.
I'm fine with that.
Is it zoning administrator / enforcement officer?
well, yeah, the zoning administrator is the enforcement officer for any police powers ordinance. The zoning ordinance being the first one that comes to mind. So now we may need some assistance. So there may be another job involved in that. Okay, fire department.
You sent a report,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
okay.
No requests, just
No request.
everything's been done.
Okay, you're not spending any money.
Not spending anything,
Oh,
less than $1,000 a month.
first month in a while.
Oh,
Well, the big thing was we finally got the doors done. that
Yeah.
we started last.
the other thing is too, on the camera system, that, online presentation, for Tuesday was, I thought it was for the phone system,
I went to it.
for the camera system,
I went to the camera one.
so. I
Did you understand it?
Well, there's a lot to understand there right off the bat. It's one of those, you know, I did it on the phone because I was in a parking lot at the doctor's office.
Oh, okay.
You know, you need to be at a doctor.
So basically what I'm gonna do is reschedule that.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just poll the people involved, the office staff and the fire department and me. So we can all, end up on the same page at the same time and go through this again.
The last time that they was at the fire department, I said, you guys are gonna have to leave because we're not buying this stuff, okay?
Yeah.
They had 9 cameras. And, yeah, and the guy goes, well, this is what the proposal calls for. I said, I've got the contract here, it's 2 cameras, not 9.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what do you want us to do? And I said,
Well, and then they called me and said, we got all the cameras for the firehouse. Okay, I said, they only want 2, they want the front and back lots.
Yeah.
I said, they have their internal cameras.
yeah. And the guy goes, Well, I got the proposal right here, and I said, we're not going by the proposal, we're going by
The contract.
the contract. Anyway, so they left and they come back at 11 o'clock.
Request for a 5-minute break.
Okay, we're planning commission.
After a 5-minute break.
Okay, the reason said, 39, 8:40,
8:41.
8:31. And we'll reconvene at 5 minutes. 6.
Oh, you got more?
Bring it 1 hour.
March Tuesday, first Tuesday,
Yeah. Tuesday, is that a 7 here? Or
that is at 6 here,
6 over?
so I want to do this at 6.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
I don't know, I got this.
Yeah, well, it's all this west.
Potentially
It's actually.
on track to be married within maybe a year.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
I know where this one is. This is right here, isn't it? Not the dairy, but the ice cream place.
I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah.
What that one is, that's the west
I
side.
still want to make it work.
Well, some of this would be right out of the ordinance, where it describes different.
So, yeah. So
I don't know. Like I said, I just saw it this afternoon, I did not go through it.
So.
One guy, all those buildings that was rejected, is that the same
Yeah.
area there? Where
Yeah,
the
for boys.
old houses?
No.
Piano.
This is-
This is, it's this, from.
On the same side of the front. Oh, yeah, I know that, that's where that dairy thing's going. But the other one looks like it goes on the other side of that.
Republican meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'll look at that. too. I really didn't know. Yeah. Yeah.
They're just changing all the, basically all the westerly and changing the easterly. I think that's what you're doing.
Or about something like that. Yeah.
Most of the time, I don't think.
So, who's the wrong?
I don't know, I asked, I'm the wrong part of me.
Sure, everybody. Yeah, somebody had a. I'll wait for it. It's a small attendance because of the snow and ice, I'm sure.
He is her. He is. I think pretty much, they're
I get people complaining about what we've done the last 4 years, but I don't show up here. Not sitting there at all. That's right. Oh my gosh, let's come to this.
Too much money. Exactly, but she. Man, and I was.
Planning commission, huh?
I contributed for.
Ready?
Donation.
You are ready or you aren't ready?
I'm glad it's empty now.
Okay. Reconvene.
Welcome to the meeting.
Yeah. All right.
8:47. Planning Commission report.
Okay. You got more than a few things here. We'll just go off number one. 1705 Crystal Beach Road, Killian, special use permit. What had been planned was a house barn became only a barn with an apartment inside it. Now the applicant wishes to build a house. This would result in 2 dwelling units on a single lot. Zoning Administrator Redkey assisted in the commission deliberations with advice on potential flexibility in decision-making and possible conditions to remedy the deficiency. Packer read experts in the zoning ordinance and master plan regarding the matter of multiple dwellings units on R1 properties. And then, do you want me to read this, the whole thing and highlight it? I can do that.
Okay, this is straight from ordinance 22.
Is this for a piece of property, is that on the, it's not on the lakeside then, is it?
No,
Okay.
no, it's on the opposite side.
Yeah, I
So
saw
the original plan was to build a house and a barn.
Yeah.
Okay, and the barn became the house.
Yeah,
Okay, so what they're, now they want to build a house.
yeah, so, deliberations, included this discussion on the advantages of providing additional housing and requirements for the existing law, whether the ordinance should be amended to accommodate this. Oh, you just got this today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes it this kind of special use and possible conditions to permit building a house on a lot while the existing barn dominion. The following motion was made by Packer, second by Keys, to recommend the township board approve the special use permit application of Gloria Killian to build a house at 7225 Crystal Beach Road with the condition that the house and barn are not to be used as a single rental. And that was passed by all.
You said not to be used, you meant, it says used as a single.
Are to be used as a single.
Are to be used as a single rental,
Okay,
so that they can't rent them both out.
right,
It'll be one,
one of the
one.
How are we gonna monitor that?
$8,000.
Okay, and this evidently, requires a
Sheriff's
deed
Department.
restriction.
Ordinance.
Yes, both of these that on 1 and 2 will require the deed, restrictions. I'll just go right into number 2. Both of these were heard at the same time, the same meeting. This one is at 7285 Crystal Beach Road, Shelley, special use permit. In this request, there was an auxiliary dwelling space created inside an existing pole barn, and the property owner intends to be inhibited by her mother for the portion of the year. That dwelling space already exists. This application is for the purpose of making the existing situation legal. The similarity of the application to the Killian application resulted in a very similar motion. Motion by Keys, seconded by Fields, to recommend that the township board approve the special use permit application of Marv and Michelle Schilling at 7285 Crystal Beach Road to allow the use of the auxiliary dwelling space for a family member for a portion of the year, with the condition that there will be not the 2 rentals operating on the property at the same time. And this passed all. And then down here at the bottom of that, it was recommended to the township board that the conditions be detailed for the 2 special use permit applications be transmitted to the Register of Deeds so that the future owners of the properties would be aware of those restrictions.
I have a question. It says Crystal Beach Road, and I was under the understanding that they live on Shelley Drive. So
That's
is
where
there
the
a
driveway
mistake
is.
there?
That's where their driveway is, but they own all the way out from Crystal Beach.
They do own Crystal Beach Drive,
Yeah,
okay,
this is the address.
okay. So they have 2 addresses. Crystal Beach and Shelley Drive.
Oh, we should probably only have 1 address.
Yeah,
Their main house is on Shelley Drive.
right, I mean, but
Question.
I think you can straighten that out. They do live, their main house is on Shellway Drive, and they own several pieces of property that are in there. This particular one is located on, Crystal Beach Road. It has a main house and then this little barndominium or apartment or whatever you want to call it, that the mother-in-law lives in, and they rent the main house out full,
Oh,
long-term
okay,
to another person.
okay.
That's the situation.
Thank you.
yeah, they own quite a bit of property.
They do, yeah, they
You know,
own.
or not.
Yeah.
Different
That's the
parts.
circle, yeah. My kids old stomping grounds.
So what they're asking for is that we amend the zoning ordinance to make pole barns.
And it's already been approved, we just have to either argue with it or approve it. It's already been approved.
Well, it's been recommended from the planning
That's
commission.
not-
Right.
Approved by
Not the
planning.
The
board.
board approves any changes to.
So the building's there now, right?
Mhm.
And the people are living in it, right?
Right.
Okay.
This isn't a request for a rezoning or an amendment to the zoning ordinance. This is just a special use permit application.
Mhm.
So we were recommending that they be approved with the conditions that there is only 1 rental operation going on at a time on each particular property.
Mhm. And of course, the mother-in-law's not, or the mother's not in charge.
Those
Yeah.
2 are special
It's family
use.
member.
Yeah.
A little bit different deal.
Mhm.
The other one, it was stated that was her intention was to have 2 separate rentals on that one property.
Mhm.
Right, and this was a pole barn that's already been modified.
So you need
Make it a
approval
vote.
by the board
Make a
for the
motion.
special use permits? Is that how
Right.
that
Planning
works?
commission recommended that the board approve both of these special use permits, with,
With condition.
conditions.
With conditions that goes on there,
Okay, so are you making the motion that, items 1 and 2,
I'll make a motion that items 1 and 2 that was recommended from the planning commission be approved by the board with conditions. Conditions being,
well, with conditions listed?
okay, that'll work. Conditions listed, to be transferred to the register of deeds for future.
I'll second that.
That would be both special use permits. For Billion and Shelley. And then we're gonna get the language for that off the recording because I couldn't understand. You guys, when you make a motion,
Keep it
you
short.
give a part, you give a part, and you give a part, and I'm trying to write it down. I have
No,
no
no, I
idea
just
who
second.
said what. Sometimes you all input on how that should be worded.
clarification.
Yeah.
So noted.
Just leave it
Is
like
that a
that.
roll call vote?
Well, basically, what the motion should say is, we approve items 1 and 2.
I know, but you're saying what the motion should say, but Joe is the one that made the motion.
Right,
So Joe has to say what the motion said.
I was just trying to sort
Yeah.
it out,
Thank you.
with conditions listed. Okay, so roll call vote.
All right. Albert Keys,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Tom Backers,
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes. And then the other is. Oh, that's the one that you sent.
That's gonna be a nice addition, I think. I hope it is. It's gonna have a storefront too? No? That'd be nice if it did.
Okay, item number 3.
Item number 3, we also have a thing from Tina that Tina sent also. I didn't have this when I wrote this up. So, 7726 Rapid City Road. I have the lot number 004-016-01030. Douglas Milan. Zoning from village commercial to commercial light industrial. In this request, the owner requested the zoning change to accommodate a new business, ice cream storage distribution. Business will store ice cream and distribute around the area. Public hearing was held on 2/5/24. Motion to change the zoning was made and seconded to recommend the township board approve the zoning petition with the condition of adding a barrier fence on the north side of the property adjoining the neighbor to the north, and adding some natural foliage to the west along Rapid City Road. And the owner didn't, he didn't have a problem with those 2 conditions. I thought he'd be here tonight, but. So it was recommended to the board that they approve this. And on the amendment side of this, if it is approved, I noticed that.
Amendment 14.
Yeah, amendment 14 to ordinance 22, the zoning ordinance sections 20.05 and 21.10. I noticed that it calls out, section 16.1 on the west side of Rapid City Road. That would actually should be on the east side.
And number 1, section 16,
Yeah,
should say east.
yeah. Road in the land between the center and the western.
I think this whole thing needs to be written again. Because I don't see whether The western boundary, the abandoned C and O right away would come in.
Yeah, that should be taken right out because abandoned railroad's on the opposite side.
Unless there's something there on there.
Unless you guys know. All the abandoned railroad is on the west side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is on the east side. So yeah, this
Years
would have,
ago, there might have been a railroad in there.
this would have to be rewritten, I believe.
Okay,
That or we do it right now.
We're still on the ice cream place, right?
Yeah.
Doing something different.
Yes, no.
Now, how close is that gonna be built to the road? There's
The
gonna be
building
back
itself sits back a ways and there's a
parking in front?
ingress and egress. There's not a lot of parking because it's a wholesale distribution, so there'll be a few employees, maybe 4 or 5.
Well, it's like a Schwann's, like a Schwann's ice cream.
This could be
Yeah,
basically another, a working pole barn, right?
Right, so, and they have a loading dock and a storage building off to the side, but it sets back and
Okay, so now what's the problem with item number 1?
Well, I think this whole thing has to be rewritten because the thing is a western boundary and it's calling out the CNO Railroad right away between boundaries, it's calling out to the westerly 330 feet. I don't think that is correct. I think to be safe, I don't think we should pass this tonight.
Okay,
9 other parcel numbers on here.
What, she's only changed, she crossed this off, we're only changing one to this, light industrial. I know what she's doing there.
The -30 is the only one.
So,
So.
I would make a motion, that the township board approve the zoning petition, rezoning petition, from,
Douglas Malin.
zoning from village commercial to, commercial light industrial. And that would be lot
It's-
004-016-011-30. With the conditions, as written.
Okay, so, on 20.05, it says remove parcel 1130 from village commercial,
Yes,
and on 2110, it says add parcel.
yes.
So that's what we're doing.
That is what
Taking
we-
it out of one, putting it in. the-
Okay, motion to remove, parcel 004161130 from village commercial in section 20.05 of ordinance 22. Do I have a second?
Oh,
Yes,
actually, Albert Keys was already making that motion.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't.
well, I think he was reading it.
No, we're still on the first one, right?
We're still on the first one.
Were you reading?
All
it?
we're doing now is voting
That
to
was-
that was
remove the
motion.
parcel from village commercial.
Which we would be doing in my,
Right.
Can I ask where South Street is? Isn't that the one this side of the Church of Christ? I'm confused when that's in there.
I'll second that motion.
Okay,
this is with conditions. I hope I
Right,
got
I
that.
did get with the conditions listed.
Basically,
Yes.
we're probably gonna be working on this one here.
So.
okay, and the conditions were stated in the. In the plan.
This is-
Okay, with conditions.
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, we vote to remove it from village commercial.
You get a second on that one?
Yes, she did.
Roll call
Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Greg Bradley,
vote. Yes,
Tom Backers,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
I'm confused.
removing that parcel from village commercial.
But didn't you say you're gonna take it back to them to have it rewritten?
No,
no,
we can do this now.
We can do
we're
it.
gonna use this piece
Yeah,
of
we're
paper.
ready for this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that motion passed, correct?
Yeah.
No, we're not done
Okay.
yet. Joanne Childs,
Go ahead and,
I guess, I'll trust Joe.
Albert Keys,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes.
Okay, I make a motion to remove parcel 004-16-11-30, or to add parcel, correctly.
Oh, did you do
1130,
motions, once to remove it, and once to add it?
yes, to commercial light industry
Okay.
under section 2110 of
So
ordinance
we're just
22
approving the rezone.
with conditions.
Wait a minute, I'm confused now. I know where Orchard Acres is, it's Schneider Road. So I'm lost here, I live in Orchard Acres. That's basically.
You know where the old pig farm is at, the big barn that burnt many years
Yeah,
ago?
I know where that is,
That's the two parcel we're talking about.
but it's saying between Orchard Acres and Schneider Road. I know where Schneider Road is and I know where Orchard Acres is, because that's the subdivision I live on. And all of this is north of that.
We're working off of this one, not that one.
Okay, whatever. That's why I'm not a surveyor.
I think that one that you're looking at, we was all looking at to start with, somebody did some cut and paste and did take the old cutout.
So anyway, we had a motion, do we have a second? Can we get a?
No, we didn't get a second. Yeah,
This is to add the parcel to commercial light industry.
I'll second that.
Hold that thought for a second.
That same parcel number, same. All right,
Gotta go.
If you have a motion, say something.
yeah, we have a motion and a second, so
Okay, I want to say something.
we can discuss.
The descriptions you're looking at, there might be actually describing those zoning districts. That's the entire
Yeah, that's the commercial
light industry
boundaries.
district and entire village commercial district. And so you're taking it out of this parcel number, out of one of those districts and putting it in, but that's not necessarily
That's
the
not
legal
that
description of the
parcel.
parcel that you're rezoning. If
Thank
that
you.
makes sense.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, then on amendment 14,
when you look at this one
we have
here,
to send this back.
and this one you're looking at,
Mhm.
right there in the heading, it says village commercial boundaries,
Yes,
remove parcel.
and then light.
And then the other one says commercial light industry boundaries, parcels,
Yeah.
boundaries. And so that's what they're like,
Right, that's
Yeah, you're
the
right.
distinction.
yeah, he's clarifying it for us.
So your amendment 14 is actually what you're approving.
Yes, pretty much, except it has to be correct.
But it didn't need corrected because he just told us, he clarified what that meant.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, so the only thing is the west to east on first sentence. Okay, so let's have the vote on adding it to commercial light industry boundaries.
Okay,
Within that.
Joanne Childs,
Yes, is recommended.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Albert Keys,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes, Tom Backers.
Yes. Okay, so as far as amendment 14 goes. Okay, we approved swapping the district.
look at all the ones that are, put it back in the
Okay,
thing.
as far as the amendment goes, does it read correctly with the correction on the first line of west side of Rapid City Road to east side of Rapid City?
no. Doesn't. No.
Okay, so it has to be rewritten.
I would say it has to be rewritten because they're talking about abandoned.
Well,
Rapid City Road, the western boundary of the abandoned Sino Railroad. I believe that is on the west, it has to be on the
Okay,
west.
so somebody was confused when they wrote the first portion.
no, I think it's probably
Is
right.
that your boundaries on
Like
your
what
map?
Tom is saying, is that is your boundary of that district.
Tom, hey, Tom.
There is a town Packer, but that's not town.
Okay, Dan.
Damn.
We got you.
You know, when I said that, I'm thinking,
That's all right.
Okay, so
I
this
looked at him, I
describes,
didn't say nothing.
the amendment describes the boundaries of the district.
The districts.
Okay, so,
I didn't look at that, Tom, but that's what it sounds like. to me.
but just changing
Discussion. And I don't know that anything.
the west side to
because
east side,
That's the accurate.
and this is the description of the village commercial boundary.
Yes,
Okay, this is the description of commercial, like industry boundaries.
yes,
Okay, so we are basically taking this part out
yes. Removing
and we're
that
adding
property
it to
number.
here with the correction of west to east side of Rapid City Road. Am I done?
I don't think that
I
west
don't
east
think-
needs to
No, I
change,
don't think you changed that.
because that's the boundary.
That's
Okay,
not where
that's the
property
boundary
is,
and
but
not
that's
that.
where the boundary.
Okay, so the amendment is correct
Yes,
as it's written.
yes.
That's why I read it,
Okay, we've approved the
and
swap.
looking at your map.
Okay, so now what we need to do
Is there a whole nother motion for,
is a motion for, the amendment of amendment 14 to zoning ordinance 22. Village commercial and commercial light.
is that the way, that's fine, whatever.
This, we have a separate action to amend it.
Oh, okay.
I just made the motion
Yeah.
That was your motion to approve, okay.
to approve amendment 14 as written. So I can cross out revise here, go back to west.
To ordinance 22,
So the zoning map will have to be correct.
section.
It's all zoning rates.
We need to take the zoning map out of the CA's office, okay? And pen and ink change to it so we can send it to, what is it, Collier or whatever the heck it is. So he can update our new zoning map with all the changes that have been made. And then reissue the zoning map. Because
All right,
they
Tom
want-
Backers?
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah, Tom Backers,
yes.
Joanne Childs.
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Albert Keys,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes. Okay. Phew. That was painful.
Okay, so. If you have a copy of this, mine is all marked up. You can sign this and,
Here's ones, these are brand new ones.
and then we need a publication. So I'll add that to my list, 14,
I'm gonna send this to Tina and I believe she will publish it
yeah,
and then,
all right.
it's not like that.
So that's good. Okay, anything else, sir?
yes, number 4. 7069 Rapid City Road, Oakland land use permit. The preview committee of Dan, Chris, and Lisa examined the application and site plan and found everything to be in order. Motion was made and seconded, to recommend to the board for approval. And basically, that was, pretty clear cut, it can already be there, and this is basically for a driveway.
It's a 40 by 80 story open, CC power.
It's right next door to,
Storage, you said, another barn?
Iron Copper, right in between the two buildings.
Where they're excavating.
Okay.
Permit.
I think it's right across Snyder Road from,
No, it's right next to the motorcycle club, used to be.
on that side.
Yeah, but they've been excavating for the last week. They've been moving dirt.
What's gonna go in there?
It's
Storage for
More, huh?
CC
already-
crap. storage.
It's a business, where's business though?
So in other words, more walk-in closets for the seasonal folks.
It's not seasonal, no, I think it's gonna, you
Well, I know, I-
CC, you know, CC power.
That's basically,
Yeah, but more storage, yeah.
okay,
Is outdoor storage gonna be allowed on it, or?
there's storage units.
He doesn't have room to do outside storage.
Well, you know, fencing and all that stuff.
Well, that's part of the commercial district too, isn't it? So,
I think it is.
Yeah, everything's in order as far as
I
that.
mean, there's storage units everywhere.
Really?
Change my name to Port Orange City.
I remember when that was all cornfields.
I will make the motion to approve the land use permit for Copeland at 7069 Rapid City Road.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, Joanne Childs. Albert Keys.
Yeah,
Christine Johnson, yes. Greg Bradley.
Yes.
Tom Backers.
Yes.
I think that was the last one, right?
that was the last one, and just a side note, Tina Fields, term ends May 1st. Replacement will be needed, I haven't seen anything in the papers, or any kind of posting on this. The time we're supposed to put that in the
Yeah.
last meeting.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it with the zoning administrator.
What happens if we don't get anybody help? What goes on?
What happens, what?
If no one applies, what happens?
Well, we have applications in,
Oh, you do?
yeah, but we need to get in the paper. So we can.
Yeah, we'll just, we'll run. I got a ton of stuff. We're gonna have to
That's all I have.
take up. Okay, so that goes, that's done. Some contract, it doesn't expire until April 1st,
What's this, where we at?
Oh, zoning, that's right.
okay? And we, already have an ad for ZA. So there's basically no action to be taken on, that until
Next month.
find some replacements. Or a replacement.
When's the last time you talked to them? Is this, when did we get this letter from them? Mark.
January 15th.
Yeah,
So since then, there's been a lot of talk between public safety and he's gonna help. He wants to help with it, he wants to continue with it, he wants to train. This is the one that we're losing.
but does the contract expire on
Yeah,
January
so we'll have to get a
1st
new one.
No,
or March 31st?
March 31st.
March 31st. So we can deal with that. First of all, we need an ad for ZA. And what a public safety should do,
I think,
I think, if you're looking at, because the recommendation's been made for a community services officer,
Ordinance enforcement officer.
mhm.
okay, so what I'm saying is, what we need, is a bullet point recommendation from the Public Safety Committee, okay, as to what his duties would entail, just,
Mhm,
assist the zoning administrator,
mhm.
just line by line, 4 or 5 things, so that we can write a job description.
I think we need a new offer from March so we know what's going on, because it's kind of confusing now. If he's gonna go month to month and that needs to be put down, and
That's
because
what
he plans on training
wrote
the
it.
next
It's
one.
in there.
He wrote a contract for that,
Yeah, okay, the new one,
or month to month.
okay.
Okay, so we have a new contract to approve, is that what you're saying?
That's for month to month if we decide to go that route.
So that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
that would basically kick in on April 1st.
Yes.
He said he'll continue to go on the zoning meetings and all that as he's training the person, he'll do
Okay,
the
so-
zoning.
what I'm saying is we don't have to deal with M&R Consulting until the March meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And hopefully
We have to make a decision, but
Yes,
where do you see he says it's gonna continue on? I don't find it.
He sent it out.
that was email to, I thought I
It was
started out.
dated, October 2023.
No, this one, he just.
Oh, wait, no, that's the,
No,
I'm sorry, that's-
later.
That's there where he says.
that's the original terms, I'm sorry.
His purpose, what he stated was to, Lisa's gone, cut his contract in half, and we, as the ordinance enforcement officer, we could use that money to be an ordinance officer, with that set up and going, classes, whatever.
So basically, basically, he wants,
It'll be what,
No,
see,
that
Marv and
is-
Lisa's
that
been
is
doing
their
this, Lisa's gonna do that part anymore.
Lisa hasn't
They've decided they'll not be
Well, she
renewing the
has.
Well, she
contract.
has.
Order.
And then here's the
Maybe.
No, she has.
Order.
okay, time out.
Thank you.
So, but he's under contract till the end of March.
Mhm.
Okay, so what he's offering is if from that point on, if need be, $2,500 a month, he will continue. All right, so we'll deal with that in March after we put an ad out for a zoning administrator. And see what kind of a response we get. Okay. Parks and Rec. I saw the request for banners again.
So I made, we had to give a new, estimate, again, we had to give a new estimate. And so this has been approved, I think it's like a 30 days, so we had to give it a double-sided banners, we've selected pictures for those, they're gonna be 12 made, two-sided of 4 different descriptions, 4 different pictures, two-sided, and we're looking at banner bracket sets, we have to get new ones up, and the ones we're looking at would be ones that won't break when the wind blows, like the ones we've had. So that's what the park is voted and just need your approval.
Now,
So
Parks and Rec paying for this, or we're paying?
Yeah, no, the parks is in our budget, parks budget.
And that was,
For the lamppost banners, it
Was that
says
a
right here,
pro
they're
image?
requesting medical.
Yeah.
I
funds.
saw, what was, what was the
Yeah,
amount?
image. Yep, that's what their estimates are for. They'll lay out, design layout. We've already got the pictures from Lisa Laronas. And she's gonna help, I think, guide them too. Because we had to change it from this way to this way.
All right, so this is for the design of a banner?
Yeah, the design, the creation, they're gonna get the pictures. It's gonna be the same picture.
Bottom line, what are we talking about?
We're talking about right there, it says, total amount, we want approval for everything is $6,636.30.
But under item C on their report, they say that they would, wait, not C, it's yeah, C,
See,
down to number 2,
okay,
requesting funds to come from the Metro Fund, 50%.
oh yeah,
deposit.
we did mention that too, because that's how all the light posts went up, was from the Metro Fund, the road fund.
So they're asking for a matching amount of money to come out of the Metro Fund and they pay the rest. That's the way I read it.
Mhm. That's what I read too.
So
Okay,
it's roughly 3,000 out of the Metro Fund. is what it is.
put it in the form of a motion.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make that motion. Motion to approve the request by Parks and Rec. Wait, hold on. To approve the estimate by Pro Image Design. I have to write it down while I'm saying it, sorry.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah,
I see nowhere where the township is on the hook for the whole thing. I see them not paying any.
we've been working on this for like 3
Well,
years,
John's a
and then
great
we just found out it can come from, because the lamp posts and everything along the street, that's not parks. So that's why they're asking the township, that's not parks. We wanna
none
get
of
banners
it's
up there,
parks?
huh?
None of it is parks?
No, just been coming up with the
Remaining
idea,
balance.
because who else is gonna come up with the idea? to
Part
get
of the right of
the
it.
banners, huh?
See what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have a problem doing it, but let's not do it with the idea that they're gonna pay half.
That was my thing.
I thought they were paying half of it, so that changes
The
it.
motion should say the amount and where the money comes from.
Yeah,
So we have to see,
that's something that the medical fund will play, even though it's, I mean, I know it's in the right,
Yes,
mhm.
and it is an improvement.
And there's 27 lamp posts, and we're only doing 12. And in parks, we're talking about doing flowers and stuff on the others.
Oh, so now I'm reading this. I was reading it too fast. They want all the funds to come from Metro
That's what Greg just said, yeah.
with 50% deposit required to begin.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's my motion.
I'll second it.
okay, and then the money's coming from.
To be paid from
Metro.
Metro Fund.
If it's a full,
We have to see what-
In the amount of,
66,
66,
30.
Metro Fund, what? Metro Fund right now has 27,253.14.
Yeah.
So we're approving the amount of $6,600.
36.30.
50% being upfront.
50% of that is 33, 18, 15. A down payment.
So basically, they want a $3,000 down payment.
Yep,
Okay, so we got the motion straightened out.
I think so.
We have a second.
Yes, we do.
Any other discussion?
No,
Call the roll.
thank you. Tom Backers,
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Joanne Childs,
Yes,
Albert Keys. Yes. Christine Johnson, yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the hometown lawn service fertilizer estimate number 2321 in the amount of $35.80 paid out of $3,580 paid for out of Parks and Rec.
I'll second that.
This is for fertilization.
Fertilization of heritage
Insecticides for.
at 3 cents.
That used to come out of the general account, but now we've got a budget.
Yes.
We've got millions, so we're gonna pay for some of that.
And
Yeah.
there's a copy of their proposal right there.
Yeah, I've got one.
Don't make Bill take it.
Right here.
You know.
Okay, so it's 3580. We have a motion and a second and discussion.
No more discussion.
Okay, call the roll.
All right, Joanne Childs.
Yeah.
Albert Keys.
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes. Greg Bradley.
Yes,
Tom Backers.
The other thing I've got on here is a contract that I don't have a copy of it, but we had it at the last meeting. For, new grant applications, which I believe was what, $6,800? Okay, did we approve that?
I thought we did, but I don't know if we signed something. We've done a couple of them with road cruiser.
I believe I sent that to them.
I don't think you sent it either, because I don't think we approved it.
But they need to get on it because she's working on that. She wants to work on those grants.
It's just an update on the grants. Where are you reading that they're looking for?
because, yeah, I remember that, because Tom was gonna check and see why we were paying as much,
Paying twice, yeah.
paying, you know.
Yeah, well,
as much
she did respond to the email.
Okay.
Okay, she said these are new applications for different grants,
Okay,
and that the paperwork involved was like in triplicate.
well, I remember that now too.
And also it included, more of the plans for,
Freedom?
basically Freedom
There
Park
was a
West,
motion in
the
the
nature trail,
minutes.
because
to
originally
approve
what we
that
approved
proposal.
was just the nature trail and
And it
a couple of
passed.
88.
Yes, did we send it to him? Did we send it to her?
I believe I sent it to Parks and Rec. That motion did pass.
It did,
Yes.
okay. That was my
What was that
question.
date?
the last meeting
Okay.
Okay, so you haven't,
in
you,
January.
you haven't written a check for that, so yeah.
No, I don't believe so. They would bill me for
They
that.
just need to
That
cut
would need to be done, because I believe the deadline for that is April 1st for the grant applications.
Once we tell them that we approved it, Jennifer usually sends me an invoice to pay.
Okay,
She didn't send me an invoice yet.
GFA. I thought she did. Well, I'll check my emails.
As far as I know, but. That.
I thought I forwarded all that stuff, so. ENR. It's a $6,800 contract for grants. I can call it. See.
Can you ask her when she's gonna give us the
There's nothing
drawing or
in the,
talk about the
There's
addition?
nothing in the expense report to GFA. We will not write a check for that.
Right. Okay. So, and that money would come out of parks.
Yes.
Okay, unfinished business, SCM, the only thing I had that on there for was the, March 2nd continuation of the review. Okay, that'll be published, in the paper along with the zoning ads, because Angie's been getting phone calls. When's the next meeting? You know, so, to alleviate that. Okay, being main report and inventory, do we have a cash value and items? We can send to the insurance company a list of, what was removed.
I don't know if we can send it to the sheriff's company yet, because investigation is not done.
Okay,
You have a list of the items, I gave everybody a packet.
okay. So I'm looking for, basically a cash value.
It was almost 10 grand.
Okay, because we have a year to get that claim. Yeah.
Can we do a FOIA to the sheriff's department and get what they've already been working on? Instead of generally waiting month after month?
I contacted the sheriff department, he hasn't got back with me.
Just ask for a FOIA, they have to respond. I can go out and get it.
I think if he says it's an ongoing investigation, they probably don't have to answer
There's
yet.
so much delay.
Yeah.
So much.
I agree with you. I think it's laying on somebody's desk. holding
They're that too busy. I have the deputy doing one that's taking forever.
Okay, are we down to the budget?
Yes. So we have resolution 3 of 2024
Oh,
for township officer salary. Which says, whereas MCL 41.95 authorizes the township board of Clearwater Township to determine the salaries for the offices of supervisor, clerk, treasurer, and trustees for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 by adopting a resolution, and whereas the township board deems that an adjustment in the salary of the offices of supervisor, clerk, treasurer, and trustees is not warranted, since township board salary was last adjusted in April of 2023, now be it resolved that as of April 1st, 2024, the salary of the offices of supervisor, clerk, treasurer, and trustees shall remain as follows. Supervisor, $18,478, clerk, $20,000, treasurer, $17,392, trustees, $163 per 2-hour meeting, each additional half hour at $40. Be it also resolved that this resolution shall be submitted to the electors, at which time the electors may modify these amounts pursuant to MCL 41.95, section 7. Such modifications that may be made by the electors cannot result in a reduction of salary during an official's term of office unless the responsibilities and requirements of that office are diminished and the official agrees in writing to that reduction. In the event that the electors fail to act on this resolution, the officer shall be entitled to the salary as established in this resolution in accordance with the state law. Be it further resolved that this resolution, adopted on February 15th, 2024, is properly adopted by Clearwater Township Board. Foregoing resolution offered by board member Christine Johnson. Do I have support? Yes. Thank you. All right, Greg Bradley,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Tom Backers,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
Yeah.
and Christine Johnson, yes.
It's also that you heard the hearing.
I just wanted to get that done.
I don't blame you.
I believe we also, by motion, would, adopt the current pay scale for all of the other, township employees.
Yes.
However, we do need to increase the rate for, election inspectors, the chairperson being 1739 with the cost of living increase, and the inspectors being 1522 with the cost of living increase.
The-
Those are the only two that didn't get the adjustment in the last year, and they should have.
Okay, motion to approve the hourly employee. What would that be?
Pay scale.
Pay scale. As amended.
I will second that.
So the election officials get their raise.
Yes.
Whoever hear back, if the township was paying for the extra hours.
I asked, when she was out, doing the, machine test, and
Nobody knows.
I got the same blank look,
You're in the headlight look.
yeah. Basically, nobody knows who's paying for this township for this one.
I would send town clerk and bill, see if they pay it or not.
I think actually for early voting, we can submit a reimbursement.
A request for reimbursement,
To the state though, not to the county.
yeah, we go to the state of Michigan. Secretary of State,
Do we need a roll call vote on that? Yes, because it.
yeah, and I think it should be published.
Yeah, because you're,
It should be included, it should be included in the publication of the proposed budget. And amendment or, resolution, what was it, 3 we just did?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, those should be attachments to the
okay,
approved proposed budget.
okay. Tom Backers,
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
yes,
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes.
I got a question now. I had mentioned several times, and how we're gonna do that now that the, chair people and like Jim, if you go to a couple meetings, now that they get compensated, now how do we do that? Because that wasn't included, because I mentioned it several times.
Well, I would,
That should have been brought to our budget meeting.
yeah, that should be,
And it's, I know,
Oh,
it's gotta be done at the right place and the right time.
well, the other thing is too, we would need to, as a board, approve,
mhm.
okay, that, and describe what chairs. Okay,
That's, I brought it up in a couple meetings. I didn't make a motion because I wanted discussion and it just kind of got passed over because I mentioned it several times. I mentioned that Rapid River Township pays every member of their committee $50 a meeting. They're a lot smaller township than us. If we want to get more people involved, which I do, I would like to see a little bit of compensation. Jim spends a lot of time at meetings, especially him, going to, the road and studying, going there and.
Yeah, Greg spends a lot of time at meetings too.
And is now, I got a question. It says here, representative control, representative compensation, total
I don't
health.
know what that
Is
was.
that, you get paid to go to the hospital?
if I submitted, I could get paid, is what I
Because
was
that's
told.
what that is, $3,500, when I see total health representative control, it
Right,
says.
but I don't,
That's probably what that's for.
But you don't?
I don't turn in time, no.
Oh, maybe that's someplace we could get what we need, divide it up a little bit.
I
And
enjoy
offer
what
to people.
goes on there.
Yeah,
Take it out of there.
because that's what, 35, we could, probably pay our
If
share
we're
people out of
gonna
that.
make changes to that
You
budget,
can
we gotta
just
find
change
the
the
time to
heading
do
of
that.
that. Just
Well,
call it committee chairs.
we could add committee chairs to that, I wouldn't do it now, I would do it at the next
The new
meeting.
fiscal year.
Well, I'll do it for the, when you
We
go
have
to
to
adopt your
approve
final
that.
budget, just change the heading, put the money
Right.
already there, right?
Right,
So before I post this, I should post this budget, the proposed budget on the website. So
Well-
before I do that, I should change that heading.
okay, hang on a second, because full budget approval is the next item on the agenda, so if we're gonna amend this, we do it now.
Yeah, we're not ready to approve that budget, are we? Cause you guys are talking about all kinds of. big
It's
things.
a proposed budget, but the approval is March 31st.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
gotcha.
so basically, this is published so that the public has 30 days to look at what we're spending their money on or allocating their money on. Okay, and they can compare it to our expense reports. All right, which are actually have real numbers in. All right, so everybody knows what we're doing and they can make their public comments known. So before we approve the budget on March 31st, any changes that we want to make are made at that time, and the budget is approved and passed on April 1st, commences the new fiscal year. So if we want to include under representative control committee chairs, we would have to decide
I just figured
how much and who.
if we paid $50 a meeting, Jim LaFew goes to 3 meetings a month, usually here. And then he goes there and he has his own chair meeting, that would be $1,800 a year. And the public safety would be, they only do 2 meetings if they come here. And then they have their meeting, that'd be $1,200, it comes to $3,000, and parks will pay their own. Parks pay their own, other budget.
Well, what I'm looking at is you got $3,500 in here.
This comes to 3,000, so we probably can.
Okay, so we have the money in,
You know, the next person to get the hospital one might wanna get paid too, so like we need to take that in,
well, that's true too.
you know.
So we have to change the heading of that,
Where's that found at anyway?
it's on the last page,
Very.
on the bottom,
For the
last
total.
one.
Oh, there it is, okay, okay.
Representative compensation.
Yeah, we just scratch out that health, just representative control expense.
Or we can,
What do you think?
So it's a committee representative.
Yeah, I would say committee compensation, and that would be, basically committee chair compensation, I would, let's start there. We can't spend $30,000 on people attending committees we have.
Is it committees and commissions and departments?
Well, the next thing is we gotta decide who you want to pay.
I would put, scratch out representative and put committee control. Okay, and then, representative slash committee chair compensation. Because that way our representative to the road commission can get paid. Representative KMHC can get paid. And the chair is gonna get paid.
and the parks can pay their own.
Well, at least it
We got
pays,
budget.
you know, for, Mr. LaPue and Greg here, going into Kalkaska, at least it pays for the gas.
And that compensation amount would be,
Well, for committee chairs would be $50 a meeting. I would assume for representatives to the road commission or the hospital, time and travel,
No,
mileage and,
time and travel, how much?
at 50.
Yeah, just set the mileage rate.
Mileage is 65 cents a mile. Mileage is 65 cents a mile.
Yeah, and, I don't know, you want them 50 or 75 bucks a meeting? How long do those things last?
Minimum.
Kalkaska. I haven't been to a road commission meeting, and I don't intend.
Okay, yeah. All the townships send pretty much a representative, so it's cool to have him there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's working with stuff right now that
So
we
what
need
is
done
the
on our
hourly
budget.
rate?
Hmm?
What is the hourly rate?
The hourly rate is 65 bucks an hour for generally for labor.
I was,
You say an hourly rate to attend the meeting?
Yeah.
I would just go say $50.
Per
per
meeting.
Well, you only have $3,500, so,
Right.
and,
And Jim goes free, but I don't know if we have to pay them to come here, because they can just hand a report and they're done.
No, I'm talking about representatives to
And
the road commission specifically,
Yeah, so,
and the hospital.
and have their committee meetings, so that would be $100 for Jim a month.
Yeah, plus his mileage.
And then yeah. plus
If he chooses to turn in his trip to. Okay, same thing, is that satisfactory to you? 50 bucks to sit there for, so it's $50 for everything,
Per meeting.
but representatives to the road commission and, county hospital. Okay, get mileage. If they
Yeah.
choose.
that's per meeting, not per hour.
Per meeting.
Right.
Per meeting, yeah.
So that will have to be added to our pay scale.
Yeah, pay scale thing. And the name changed on the budget.
Okay.
Control. Okay, other than that. Okay, we proposed Clearwater Township budget for the fiscal year 2024-25. Motion to approve as amended.
I'll second that.
Second time.
Got 2 seconds, we're good.
That will make it easy.
It's getting long.
I know.
Yeah, we passed the poison bullet time.
Carol's getting tired.
I've already been at one meeting today, so.
You can't forget this, Chair, Mr. Chair.
The trees.
Yeah, I know, I got, it's down here, item C under 12.
Oh, yeah.
On the amended agenda,
Is that a roll call or does a,
yeah, to amend the proposed budget, well, let's do that. Yeah.
to amend or to approve the proposed?
Hmm?
Is it? The amended proposed. To approve the amended proposed.
Okay, motion to approve the proposed,
Budget.
2024-25 budget as amended.
As amended.
Don't worry, we'll get it right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Town backers. Is it a roll call
Yes.
vote? Okay, I'm asking you a question.
Okay,
Do you approve that?
yes.
Christine Johnson, yes.
Punch drunk.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Albert Keys.
Yes.
Joanne Childs.
Yes.
Thank you all for your time.
Okay, so once we get those cleaned up, we can publish it.
Okay.
And I'll probably put it in the newspaper, at least the, budget part. Okay, the last thing we've got is the cemetery tree service. There are 2 trees. This is the bid for one of them, $875. Well, he's got the equipment out there. I want him to knock them both down. So I am making a motion to approve up to a maximum of $2,000 to Outdoors Unlimited for the removal of 2 large maple trees on the cemetery grounds.
I'll second that.
$2,000.
Where's that paying out of?
Does that come out of the cemetery budget?
Hmm?
Does that come out of the cemetery?
That would be charged to the cemetery cost center. Along with the rock.
Yeah, we gotta clean stones too, we gotta clean the gravestones.
Okay, we got moved and seconded, any discussion on that?
It's looking good, Craig's doing really good.
Craig's doing a good job.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Spending more than $1,000, roll call vote, please.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Craig Bradley,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes, Tom Backers.
Yes,
Albert Keys.
Yes,
okay, public comment,
I don't know, I wasn't here for your whole thing, but did you, the blinds, you need to deal with. the
we
blinds.
need to be a new quote. So,
Well, the problem is, you get a new quote,
and it expires.
and it expires by the time your meeting comes. My point is, just
Approve $3,000,
approve $3,000
And-
and be
and
done
put
with
it
it,
on
and
the
that way we can order the damn blinds.
because that's what,
otherwise it's
that's
just
what the
gonna go
last
round and
quote.
round and round.
Are these custom made?
I was gonna call
I'm sorry, I don't have any
They're-
more
they're-
motions list.
Pretty much, I mean, they're,
You
they're
can't
nothing.
go buy-
Anyway, okay,
No, you can't. You're
so,
not.
all right, I move that we approve, up to $3,000 for the blinds that we had
Do we have
quoted
the money?
for the schoolhouse.
Thank
Do we
you.
have the money? We're gonna get it.
I don't know,
Public improvement?
yes,
well, we had already approved them, so we must have.
We
counted
did,
for the money.
Well, the problem was, it was there was a discount. So when we went there, and Lowe's would not honor it.
Plus, the original quote was on these blinds and didn't include the doors, kitchen window. So when we went back, we had it done. It was about $800. It was about $2,800. So if we approve $3,000,
I feel like that's super
it'll
high.
go on the Lowe's card. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Again, we're approving over $1,000.
They're
Roll call
nice.
vote.
They're.
They are just for this,
What?
just for this building.
Yeah, just for the,
The problem is the length.
they're a lot easier to use, and they're a lot
Yeah,
easier.
the buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. All right, roll call vote. Tom Backers.
Yes,
Greg Bradley.
Yes.
Joe Keys.
Yes,
Sorry. Joanne Childs.
Yes,
Johnson.
okay, the next meeting, big STR meeting on March the 2nd.
Did we decide that that was public improvement?
yeah, we discussed that, I think it was public.
To be paid out of public improvement?
I will be here. I'll
Yeah,
be downstairs.
public improvement fund, yeah, we can use
Okay,
that.
okay. And I thought you had said that, but I didn't write it down.
Is it something you have to get to? I'm not gonna be here.
I'll get it.
Can I ask the first question? Are we done with the rest of every day?
Yes,
What did you think of the meeting you went to the hospital?
I thought it was excellent. It was a great
What we're trying to
presentation.
do.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's your opinion, Greg?
I had no idea about that stuff.
My opinion is if we don't do something within 10 years, we'll have a second metal facility in Kalkaska.
So
Yeah.
we're kind of being railroaded.
Well, it's not that, we're not being railroaded by your hospital. You're being railroaded by your corporate.
Yeah.
hospital.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Months.
saying.
Yeah, they don't want to do partnership or vendor relations anymore, okay?
Yeah, the president of Munson makes 900,000 a year.
But we've gone to every hospital
Yeah.
in the state and nobody wants to do it, okay? But the point I wanna make, there's $1.1 million that has to be refunded to the township. And we've researched it and it has to be used for what it was voted in for. So we have to figure out, we either give it back to the hospital or we figure out somehow we use healthcare in the township,
Mhm.
That's interesting.
you know?
No, we're not.
so we set up an emergency walk-in clinic.
Well,
so we pay everybody's health care bill.
I don't know, you know, I'm not saying the fire department, but you know, we've been trying to put a room in over there and the paramedics have wanted to have a place that they could have.
Actually, I do pay a lot of
People
gas
that
when
can
people
come in.
get to a doctor's
And
appointment.
they can check like the church.
Blood pressure and review, right now, they do home
They
checks.
do like wellness checks.
Yeah, they do wellness checks at people's homes now,
Yeah.
and, because we don't have a place for the
That would
public.
be interesting.
And so, you know, I'm trying to find out through the board there that we could use some of that funding.
Yeah.
You know, the community health room, training room, whatnot, you know. You could put on first aid classes, all that stuff in there.
Okay. Margaret, you got anything?
Yeah, we were supposed to have a Heritage Festival representative come today to talk about a new location for the carnival and everything. I could kind of give you an introduction, but I'm not sure if I have all of the exact information. What's the next meeting that we can come to, be on the agenda and be able to talk about what we want to do?
It would be the March meeting. I believe that's 21st,
Is that when the last?
regular meeting.
Right on the
Is
end.
that soon enough? I know you have to get it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
March
the
21st.
liquor licenses and stuff is.
March 21st.
What do you?
They gotta, what they gotta do, they gotta schedule,
What they're trying to
get a
do,
liquor license.
what they wanna do is they wanna move it, behind the township hall on that vacant lot.
Right.
And basically, they would want to use the electricity off the pole that the old Heritage Committee actually put up. And park their trailer right there.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
then,
way they would put up the tent, they would leave, instead of keep tearing down the tent would be there also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right behind the town hall.
Yeah,
It's all township.
and the reason is,
they're looking for approval to do
Yeah.
that, that's what they're looking for.
eventually they'll go back to Freedom Park, but the reason is the curb needs to be cut and the driveway going to Freedom Park West has to be straightened out. So Jim is talking to County Road or see how we can cut that curb out and make that, but we also have, for both places, we've got everything up in the air with grants. We don't know what's gonna be done, and they have to make plans.
I understand.
They're looking to do that for their Heritage Days also,
Yeah.
and the weekend, in the weeknight.
We could probably add the entrance to Freedom West or, yeah, Freedom West, taken care of. So
We need that no matter what. We do that.
Well, I know that.
It's not gonna help us this year, but
you know, we could contract that out just to straighten out that entrance. So there's not that hump and,
we gotta do that, and Jim's talking about this street going, which is a mess, and post office.
let us know what we need. March
He's
1st,
talking to,
we can approve using that space. And if we get Freedom, West driveway straightened out, you can use both places.
mhm,
Joanne,
whatever.
Joanne, is there an issue of having to have our liquor license, what do they call that?
When they approve it, it's gotta be the same place for a
Yeah.
year.
Right, but I think it has to be done in February.
Yeah, that's our concern. It has to be done, they were saying February, so we kind of have to say, yes, all we have to do is say, yes, it's okay with, we have it there.
No, you don't have to have your liquor license in February, you don't have to have it in February, not unless you're holding something. You can get your liquor through the liquor license to the state at any point during the year.
So your festival's in what, July?
August.
August.
Yeah, kind of like,
But they kept saying it, you have to get it, but I don't know, they were saying.
yeah, you
February.
only get so many, and you have to line them up early in the year for this. Yeah.
It's really sticky.
Then I know they want you to list them all,
Mhm.
unless you guys got something before your first, weeknights.
As you got something in April,
Yeah, I don't think,
I don't
we never did, I know that. We always just used to put our dates down and send them in, I know they like them, like a month ahead of time,
Mhm.
but that's, not unless they've changed that.
you find out what your deadline is. If you need us to move the meeting up, all it takes is 3 members of the board to sit down for 5 minutes and take a vote on what you want to do.
Mhm.
So we can do that anytime.
You're just talking about moving what we did at Heritage Park, or Freedom Park up here, right?
Right.
The carnival's still down there. right?
Yeah.
No, we talk about
No,
moving
they're gonna
it
have it right here, maybe next year, once we know what's happening down there, they know hot water. And I sent for, the health department, I've got the well that's there and all the information I gave it to Craig. And then the determination is, do you have to put another well, or what can you do? So I called George Plumbing, and he gave a lot of information. And, there's a well person gonna come and look, but we need answers.
Yeah,
Because
the
Jennifer
thing
wants
is,
to do
you
stuff.
don't know where you wanna put the well, I just
We
got a
just need
general
answers.
idea. But because you don't have a plan for heritage, you don't know where to put the well,
We
because you
can't
don't
do
know where the buildings are going. So.
We're waiting for
it's-
Jennifer to come up with her plan, and it's like we're waiting for her to come up with the addition to the township hall.
She keeps
We're doing a lot
telling
of
me
dating.
she can't find an architect that will take the job at.
Can we go outside of her and find someone?
You know,
It's 10:01. I'm making a motion that we adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn too. This is not gonna
She
be a
can't find an architect, I'm sure we can't either.
Find out what your deadline is, Margaret, and let us know. And if we have to have a special meeting, we can get Greg, me and Joanne here and. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Yeah, make that.
10:01.
We can always get Joe on board.
Joe, you just need to retire so you.
Short as a tennis, we're still along.
So we are starting to slow down. I think we gotta be controlled.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you know,